station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The Revenue Tax Task Force, unmoved by claims that they are being barbaric, the commander of that force says they need their guns to protect their tax collectors. A Grand Lucine update in 3 weeks. Parts of the Caribbean bracing for Hurricane Beryl. And what is happening with the Water and Sewage Corporation and Eastern New Providence. That's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Monday, July 1st, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Deandra Cartwright will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll get a preview of the Gumbe Summer Festival. And in business, we are talking about a free virtual masterclass on healthy nutrition. It's called From Nourishment to Flourishment. And we're going to be discussing 7 steps to end unhealthy eating and how to heal the body and banish low energy and more. That's all ahead in business. You don't want to miss that. That's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force commander who heads a tax collection task force that's been making the rounds of businesses with armed law enforcement officers to demand compliance with the law. Well, he's defending the task force work, informing that multiple infractions have been found and millions of dollars have been collected. Commander Bertram Boleg, speaking with the Nassau Guardian after he was contacted, explained that armed officers are part of the task force in a bid to discourage any robberies, given that the task force is collecting government taxes, sometimes on the spot and sometimes in cash. The team includes officials from the Departments of Inland Revenue, Immigration and Customs, the National Insurance Board, and Police and Defense Force officers. BOLEG says it's been operational for more than a year and has conducted operations in Bimini, Eleuthera, Exuma, Abaco, and the Berry Islands. In recent operations on New Providence, this attracted attention after Vice President of CBS Bahamas, Brent Burrows II, posted a video to social media of 10 armed and unarmed officers from the Maritime Revenue Enhancement Task Force entering the store to carry out an unannounced inspection. Later, the managing director of Palm Key, Jack Hannaby, also appeared, accusing the task force of being barbaric in its tactics. But BOLEG says the task force will continue to do its job and insisted the guns are not to intimidate businesses or scare away customers. While not calling the names of any particular business, though, BOLEG said infractions that have been uncovered include businesses operating without business licenses and selling alcohol without liquor licenses. Prime Minister Philip Davis says Bahamians can expect to hear an announcement regarding the sale of the Grand Lucayne Resort in Freeport in 3 weeks. The Prime Minister was in Grand Bahama Thursday when he was asked by reporters about the sale of the property. He said, quote, "Soon, stay tuned, I'll say 3 weeks." With that, Davis winked and then walked away. During the budget debate in Parliament last month, Davis said the government is likely to sell the resort very soon, but he did not give specifics. Halfway through the year, 61 murders have been recorded in the Bahamas so far this year. Police say a 36-year-old woman died in hospital on Saturday, nearly a week after she was shot. On Sunday, June 23rd, the woman and her boyfriend were arguing outside their Melbourne Road residence in Yellow Elder when she was shot. There were 2 additional murders in New Providence in recent days. Around 10 p.m. on Friday, a woman who arrived at home on Blue Hill Road South saw a man who collapsed as he approached her vehicle. The woman realized that he had a large laceration to his neck and called EMS, who examined him and declared him dead on the scene. Police questioning a 24-year-old man in connection with that incident. And a 26-year-old man was murdered Thursday night. Police say the incident took place shortly after 10 p.m. in the Foxdale subdivision off Bernard Road. The man, upon arriving at his Carriage Lane home, was shot multiple times by 2 men who got out of a gray vehicle. An arrest warrant issued for the son of Albany executive Peter Charrington after he left the country following an accusation of indecent assault, according to the court's docket. Albany resident 19-year-old Spencer Charrington is accused of indecently assaulting Diana Lisovaya at the resort on January 1st. He was a no-show when the matter was called before Magistrate Kendra Kelly. The prosecutor in the case informed the magistrate that Charrington had left the country and was traveling back to the United States. Charrington was in another court on June 3rd to testify against Lisovaya's husband, Canadian businessman Philippe Gagnon. He was accused of slapping Charrington after he allegedly groped Lisovaya's butt. But in his testimony, Charrington, who said he wore a dress at the party, denied inappropriately touching Lisovaya. A hit-and-run driver who mowed down a pedestrian and failed to stop had her sentence reduced on appeal last week. Altonese Roll's lawyer, Glendon Roll, convinced the appellate court that the sentence of 3 years and 6 months and a $20,000 compensation was too harsh. The court reduced the sentence to 2 years and halved the compensation order. In May 2023, Roll pleaded guilty to vehicular manslaughter in the February 14, 2022 death of Sandy Roll. He was mowed down while walking along JFK Drive at 1:40 a.m. Roll's car needed repairs, and he was walking to work. Prior to the collision, the convict attended several sporting bars where she had several drinks. She told police she was getting drowsy and asked a friend to stay on the phone with her to keep her awake. She said that she dozed off and felt her car hit something. After the impact, she noticed that the windshield of her vehicle had caved in. Nonetheless, she failed to remain at the scene of the incident and continued driving her damaged car to her friend's home. When she arrived, she took a shower and the following morning had the vehicle towed to her father's home. Roll surrendered to the traffic police station on February 17, 2022, 3 days after the collision. Roll shouldn't have been behind the wheel as she didn't have a driver's license nor a learner's permit. Additionally, the car was unlicensed and uninsured. Overseas, France's national rally surged into the lead in the first round of legislative elections, according to results released early today, bringing the far-right party to the brink of power and dealing a major blow to President Emmanuel Macron's centrists in an election that could set the country and Europe on a starkly different course. The results confirmed polling that showed the party with a history of racism and xenophobia and once shunned by the mainstream, showing that the party is no longer taboo, confined to the fringes of French politics, no more. There remains another torrid week of campaigning before the decisive final voting Sunday. On whether the National Rally will be able to win an outright majority and form France's first far-right government since World War II remains uncertain. Marked by high turnout of nearly 68% that reflected the high stakes, voters handed the Marine Le Pen National Rally a strong lead with about 33% of the vote. The number includes the votes from a group of conservative candidates of the Republicans Party who had allied with the far-right party in the first round. The New Popular Front, a leftist alliance, finished second with about 28%. The president's centrist group came third with around 20%, according to figures released by the Interior Ministry today. And Hurricane Beryl closing in on the southeastern Caribbean, and government officials pleading with people to take shelter from the dangerous, now Category 3 storm. The storm is expected to make landfall in the Windward Islands early this morning. Hurricane warnings in effect for Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada, Tobago, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The U.S. National Hurricane Center in Miami saying Beryl is forecast to bring life-threatening winds and storm surge, calling it a dangerous situation. Beryl gained Category 4 strength Sunday before weakening slightly and further fluctuations in strength are forecast. A tropical storm warning was in effect for Martinique and Trinidad as well. A tropical storm watch has been issued for Dominica, Haiti's entire southern coast, and from portions of the Dominican Republic west to the border with Haiti. Beryl is expected to pass just south of Barbados this morning and then head into the Caribbean Sea as a major hurricane on a path towards Jamaica. It's forecast to weaken by midweek, but still remain a hurricane while heading towards Mexico. Beryl initially strengthened into a Category 3 hurricane Sunday morning, becoming the first major hurricane east of the Lesser Antilles on record for June. It took Beryl only 42 hours to strengthen from a tropical depression to a major hurricane, a feat accomplished only 6 other times in Atlantic hurricane history, and with September 1st as the previous earliest date. Beryl then gained more power, becoming the earliest Category 4 Atlantic hurricane on record, besting Hurricane Dennis, which became a Category 4 on July 8, 2005. Forecasters again warning of life-threatening storm surge up to 9 feet in areas where Beryl makes landfall, with 3 to 6 inches of rain for Barbados and nearby islands, and possibly 10 inches in some areas. Warm waters are fueling Beryl with ocean heat content in the deep Atlantic, the highest on record for this time of the year. Meteorologists are saying that the waters are now warmer than they would be at the peak of the hurricane season, which is usually in September. Beryl marks the farthest east that a hurricane has formed in the tropical Atlantic in the month of June, breaking a record set in 1933. In sports, the junior athletes continue to shine in the Bahamas Association of Athletic Associations Kids Athletics Invitational and Junior and Senior National Track and Field Championships, recording a number of qualifying times for the World Athletics Under-20 Championships. Meanwhile, there will be no historic three-peat for Shawnee Miller-Weibo at the Olympics as she pulled out of the final of the Open Women's 400 meters with a hamstring injury on the final day of the Junior and Senior Nationals at the original Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium. In Miller-Weibo's absence, University of Tennessee sophomore Giovanna Valcourt won the women's 400 meters final, running 52.32 seconds. Albany State University freshman Quincy Penn finished second in 53.35 seconds. And New Mexico junior college sophomore LaCarthia Cooper rounded out the top three in 53.58 seconds. There were three qualifiers for the World Athletics Under-20 Championships. In the Under-20 boys 110-meter hurdles, Tayshawn Robinson, Taj Brown, and Jalandon Wilson all qualified in that event. There's more on that in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, Paul George is going back to the Eastern Conference and surely has made Joel Embiid very happy in the process. George will sign a 4-year, $212 million contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. That's according to a person with knowledge of the move. Speaking to the Associated Press today, the person spoke on condition of anonymity because the deal cannot be finalized until July 6th by NBA rules. The move was finalized a few hours into the start of NBA free agency, but Embiid, Philadelphia center, and the 2022-23 NBA MVP began planting the seeds for this at least a couple of weeks ago. He and George made a television appearance together during the NBA Finals, one where the Philadelphia center suggested he'd like to see the veteran join him with the 76ers. And it's apparently happened. The LA Clippers, now George's former team, said earlier Sunday night that he would not be back with them going forward. And from there, it was just a matter of the 9-time All-Star working out terms with the 76ers. George had a $48.8 million option for this coming season, but did not exercise it, entering free agency, which opened Sunday night. It was believed there was a chance that George and the Clippers could still have gotten something done, but the team made clear that those hopes are gone. And from track and field abroad for the better part of 2 years, Cindy McLaughlin-Levrone all but disappeared from the 400-meter hurdles course. Turns out she wasn't hiding or looking for something else to do, just getting better at what she does best. The 24-year-old Olympian and Olympic champion lowered the world record for the 5th time Sunday, closing out U.S. Olympic trials with 10 leaps over the barriers, then an all-out sprint towards the finish line. In 50.65 seconds, she broke her last record by 0.03 seconds. This one came on the last day of the trials, the U.S. Olympic trials, at Hayward Field. Her first record came back in 2021, also on the last day of trials, again at Hayward Field. It marked the 4th of her 5 world records she set on the track at the University of Oregon, which has hosted the lion's share of America's track great moments over the past quarter century. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Time for first look at weather. Here's what's happening. We've got a surface trough just west of the Bahamas that continues to support pockets of showers and thunderstorms over parts of the country. Meanwhile, Atlantic high pressure ridging will continue to support moderate to locally fresh winds through tonight. Boaters should be alert for possible waterspout activity. Beachgoers should exercise caution along Atlantic exposures due to the risk of rip currents. And the public is advised to remain hydrated, wear loose-fitting clothing, and to limit prolonged sun exposure, especially during peak sunshine hours. Your forecast for today. For the northwest Bahamas, partly to mostly cloudy, very warm and humid with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms today through tonight. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Wind southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. Seas 2 to 4 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas, variably cloudy, a bit hazy and a bit breezy, with a few passing showers and a slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Small craft caution remains in effect along Atlantic exposures. Winds east to southeast at 15 knots in the central Bahamas, but 15 to 20 knots in the southeastern islands. Seas 3 to 5 feet near shore, but up to 6 feet along Atlantic exposures. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to around 78 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have an extended outlook and a look at the very, very busy tropics coming up in just a bit. You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Looking for great device deals and offers this summer? Look no further. Alive has special discounts on the latest smartphones, Ring devices, and accessories. Plus, as an Alive customer, you can expect exclusive Get Extra offers and rewards, which means even more value for your money. We're talking more data, prizes, and surprises. Upgrade with us and experience the perfect summer with Alive in store or at bealive.com/deals.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way? Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up. Wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line 422-4796, 422-GR96. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Deandra Cartwright. Good morning.
Dwight Strachan, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Great to have you with us.
Always happy to be here. You know, it's been so long. It was only just Friday that I saw you.
Feels like a long time ago. It does.
So much has happened over the weekend,
Good
like
Lord.
honestly.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it this morning.
Oh,
so
here we go.
It is July 1st, the second half of the year.
Happy New Month.
Oh, is that what we do? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Listen, it's an opportunity to reset, recalibrate, and then maybe chart your way forward for the rest of the year that you may have already had plans for. No?
Yeah, or just like call it a loss and say maybe 2025 will be my year.
I mean, a lot of people do that, but you know, we still have 6 months before you throw in the
That-
towel
yeah,
officially.
A lot can happen in 6 months, right?
Exactly. I mean, look at where we are so far.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
year.
So yeah, second half of the year. Somebody's messaged me this morning. Hey, it's the third quarter. Like, oh, that sounds. Oh boy, it sounds like the end is.
Yeah,
Third quarter
Q3,
already.
Q3, Dwight. You got to keep up
Lord.
with the young ones are saying these days. You know.
Hey, and it's the beginning of the government's fiscal year, so there's a lot of changes, a lot of things coming into effect this
Yes,
month. And
yes.
so keep that in mind. Brace yourselves if you aren't aware of them.
Did you see the notice floating around about the Is it the tariff increase for BP for energy for BPL? I think.
Yeah. So we know.
So we got
people
NIB,
that
we got BPL. How many other things are going on? I feel like there are like at least 2 or 3 other things.
It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. But hey, we're gonna be here with you through it all, so we'll keep you posted on everything there. Coming up this morning, though, we're gonna get a preview of the upcoming Goombay Summer Festival. That's on the way, and then later in
can't wait.
business, yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't been to it since I got back home. That's great.
Okay.
Oh, come on,
No,
Dwight.
I didn't say anything.
It's a celebration of
it's very exciting.
culture.
Very exciting. I don't miss it.
Okay.
And then in business, we're talking about From Nourishment to Flourishment. It's a free virtual masterclass on healthy eating, on how to end unhealthy eating, on how to heal the body and banish low energy. Looking forward to that. We're going to get details about that coming up in business. But we have a lot to talk about right now in the news. And in the news, I just want to begin with Hurricane Beryl. If you had any doubts that things are changing, then just look at this storm. This is really just at this time of the year so unexpected to have a storm coming from this direction, to have this amount of this strength, and just more like the peak hurricane storms we see in September and October, not something that forms in June. And this is frightening and a sign, we hope not, but probably a sign of things to come, of what to expect going forward. And I don't know if anybody is prepared for that.
The thing is, Dwight, I believe there has been conversations for the past few years, especially with the increase in intensity, frequency, and then the earlier starts and the later starts of such systems to expand the hurricane season. Because the reality is that these systems can form anytime outside of that window. It's just more likely that they will form in that window.
Right.
The thing is, with climate change happening, we have to look at how the situation is evolving. I mean, for goodness sakes, it's the end of June and you have a Cat 4.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
You heard the article we read from the Associated Press. We'll get back to that if you missed it, about all the history this is making, the records this is breaking. And again, so our hearts and our prayers are with our friends in the Caribbean, the Windward Islands, bracing for impact. Just as of 5 o'clock, Hurricane Beryl, Category 3 hurricane now, just 125 miles east-southeast of Grenada, or 140 miles southeast of St. Vincent. It's moving south of Barbados, but there you saw in our report this morning, they're getting some wild winds and some, the outer band weather there.
I mean, sometimes, honestly, the outer band weather can be quite harsh.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, we're small islands, right? I know we know that because of our reality, but some of our Caribbean sister countries, they're incredibly tiny. And so you can imagine, is when we think about the impact of systems and how nature has evolved to protect the islands, some of our sister countries don't have the same things that other islands may have. When you're talking about, this is part of the reason why, I mean, historically people say that New Providence was made into the capital, because we're surrounded by other islands to help maybe buffer any impact from hurricanes, right? You're looking at countries like SVG, which is a chain of islands. It's quite small. And think about it, they're on the back end of volcanic action a couple of years ago. And then, but even before then, they were still recovering from a previous system. We're thinking about Grenada, that's a spice basket of the Caribbean. They were just supposed to have a CARICOM meeting there, I think this week, that they've had to postpone, obviously. Yeah. But it's almost like when these things happen, everything is at a standstill, and we're holding our breath and praying to God that our sisters and brothers from those countries weather this properly. But it's what you're saying is quite true. Are we truly prepared for the intensity, the increased intensity of these systems? We're seeing these systems hit islands that have never really had to think about this on such a frequent basis.
Yeah. So this is some history here. The last strong hurricane to hit the Southeast Caribbean was Hurricane Ivan nearly 20 years ago. 20 years ago. And that killed dozens of people in Grenada. So this is, again, making some real history. This is the earliest Cat 4 in people's memory. I don't think anybody alive can remember the last time this has happened. But the earliest storm of Category 4 strength to form in the Atlantic, fueled by record warm waters. And the speed at which this has developed, just what were we talking about on Friday? It was still, it wasn't even a depression yet.
No.
And we told you we were going to have to watch this one. And I mean, within hours,
yes,
to
literal
become
hours.
a hurricane, and then a Category 4, 3 temporarily, it could gain strength. But so this is the history of Beryl. Beryl strengthened from a tropical depression to a major major hurricane in just 42 hours, a feat accomplished by only 6 other times in Atlantic hurricane history, with September 1st as the earliest start date previously. It was also the earliest Category 4 Atlantic hurricane on record, besting Hurricane Dennis, which became a Category 4 storm on July 8th. 2005. Beryl amassed its strength from record warm waters that are hotter now than they would be at the peak of hurricane season in September. This is very scary. Beryl also marked the farthest east that a hurricane has formed in the tropical Atlantic in June. They don't normally form there. They form closer to us
Yes.
or the Gulf of Mexico at this time of year. These Azores and Verde Island storms come a lot later, September, October, but this is very much unheard of. And boy, again, we wish everybody all the best here. Here's where this storm's expected to go. On the forecast track, the center of Beryl is expected to move across the Windward Islands this morning and then across the southeastern and central Caribbean Sea late today through Wednesday. And Beryl's expected to remain an extremely dangerous major hurricane as its core moves through the Windward Islands into the eastern Caribbean Sea. Some weakening is expected by midweek as it approaches Haiti or Jamaica on its way to Mexico, it appears. So, and that's a scary thing about it. There are other systems out there. There is Tropical Storm Chris making landfall now in eastern Mexico. There's a system right behind Beryl that appears to be on the same path as Beryl. This is just unheard of for June, July. And this is what the forecasters were saying. This is going to be a very active season and that we need to be paying close attention, all of us. So we will keep you posted here on the Guardian News Network. Yeah. All right. Some other things making the news. Disappointing headlines coming out of the Nationals, the track and field Nationals here. Shauna Miller-Weibo not going to be able to three-peat in the 400 meters for women at the Olympics.
Oh, no.
She pulled out of the final of the open women's 400 meters at the Nationals on the weekend. Oh, well, that was Friday. And with a hamstring injury on the final day of the Nationals there. And so that is extremely unfortunate. I know they're hoping that they can get her on the women's relay team. I think she's already in for the mixed relays.
Right, but with the hamstring injury.
Right, what does that mean, right? So that doesn't look good. That's this month. The Olympics begin this month.
The thing about it is, so Dwight, it's very important that the health and safety of athletes are put, as much as we want them to perform and be there, should be the priority.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So some other more news coming out of the Nationals in the open women's javelin. Two-time NCAA Division I champion Rima Odobor had a winning throw of 58.15 meters. Devana Colley was second with 41.96 meters. Over in the open men's high jump, veteran Donald Thomas cleared 2.15 meters for the win. Sean Miller Jr. was second with 2.05. And there's more in today's NASA Guardian Sports section. The Bahamas Olympic Committee is expected to ratify the Olympic team this week, and the team for the World Athletics Under-20 Championships will be named following the qualifying period. Okay. All right, so we'll see. But some little disappointing news there. Yeah. All right. What I really want to talk about this morning, the Water and Sewage Corporation and what's happening in eastern Providence. We're going to get into that. Everybody brace yourselves for that. That's coming up in a bit. A couple other stories are in the NASA Guardian today, though, that really need to be looked at. The headline in the NASA Guardian: Task Force unmoved. The commander of the Maritime Revenue Task Force, Bertram Boleg, says, hey, we need our guns to protect the tax collectors. Responding to questions from the NASA Guardian on why they are going to businesses with armed Defense Force and Police Force officials, Boleg says this is what they need. He said the team includes officials from the Department of Inland Revenue, Immigration and Customs, the National Insurance Board, Police and Defense Forces. He said it's been operational for more than a year and has conducted operations in Bimini, Eleuthera, Exuma, Abaco, and the Berry Islands. Bullock says the task force will continue to do its job and insisted the guns are not to intimidate business people or to scare away customers. He says, quote, we have to keep the tax collectors protected. It's nothing to do with going to those businesses waving guns. That's absolute nonsense. We did over 100 businesses in the Carmichael area. There was only one complaint. Well, one person who had the guts to complain. I think that's a better response there. But anyway, while not calling the names of any particular business, Boleg said infractions that have been uncovered include businesses operating without business licenses and selling alcohol without liquor licenses. He said, quote, the store is a clothing store or a wholesale store, and they're selling alcohol. That's against the law. We've been finding persons with NIB problems. Employees are taking out employees' NIB and or not making the contributions to NIB. A lot of that. Persons are charging VAT, and then they are not paying VAT. You pay VAT once you are over the threshold of $100,000 in revenue. And some people are saying they are not, and then when you check, they've been making over $100,000, maybe for 5 years or so. And then they need to be fully audited to pay the fines and fees for that. He said, we have the ability to get you compliant right on the spot. So if you aren't in compliance and there's an issue, because I have Inland Revenue, Customs, Immigration, I have them all with me. So all of them are part of the task force. And so when we move as a one-stop shop sort of move. So whenever you are non-compliant with any of the different agencies, we're able to get you compliant or point you in the right direction to become compliant.
I'm not sure if that comes across as calming as it should be.
Boy, all right. Let's get your reaction to this, folks. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Boleg explained that armed officers are part of the task force in a bid to discourage any robberies, given that the task force is collecting government taxes, sometimes on the spot and sometimes in cash. Does that sound like sense?
Again, when I hear elements like this, and I think we discussed this last week, Dwight, it reminds me of situations in other countries, some other countries. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is the best way to go about doing this. There's so many gaps, I find.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be very diplomatic about
And
it,
business
but I find
people,
it difficult.
we had the Chamber of Commerce on the show on Thursday, and the Bahamian Contractors Association was saying, how many things could go wrong there when you collect $1,000 as an example, and then you claim, not that I'm sure the people of this task force are above board, wonderful people, but it could happen that they say they only got 900, but I gave you 1,000, something like that. Why would we do it like this? This is a very odd way. Or you might lose it. You might lose it on the way. You might blow out the window. I don't know, since it's cash. This is so strange. But let's hear from you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your guest.
Hi, good morning.
I wake up with a headache, and now I got a double headache listening to your little report.
It's only going to get worse.
I serious, man, like Dwight. So what he is telling me, who are these people we got running and leading this thing? What school they been to? I don't understand it. So if my comes to my business, and my business license has expired, or maybe my sanitation certificate expired, what he can do? He pull a gun on me? He can pull a gun on me to become compliant along with the rest of the people he got? What is he saying? Huh? Only time I see guns is when police go out to do their duties, when armies or criminals or some deal with guns. How in the world you could justify going to somebody to check their NIB compliance certificate? They ain't got that, and you got 10 fellas armed with guns. So please, you and your guests, make some sense, please. Thanks for taking my call.
We're trying to understand it ourselves. But yeah, well, in the picture, remember, 5 of them had guns. The other five were carrying notepads and clipboards. So yeah, but this is a very, very unusual way to deal with things. Unusual way, and we have no doubt that they're finding people who don't have what they're supposed to have in terms of business licenses and doing the right thing in terms of VAT and NIB. No doubt at all. Much more than they know, I'm sure. But this is strange. This is strange. Let's read some of your text messages on this. This person says here, what are you correcting us about? Anyway, okay. I don't know what you're correcting. Anyway. My God, these people would have been perfect Nazi officers.
Oh, dear Lord.
Well,
oh, dear Lord.
These text messages, they're calling people names. There's no need to enter any business with guns. Which taxpayers are they defending? No, tax collectors. He's making sure the tax collectors aren't harmed. That's what he said, not the taxpayers. Yeah. And then there's no excuse for that show of force. None. This is barbaric. Okay. Well.
It's happening.
Boy. We'll see. We'll see how long this will continue. Although last week the press secretary in the office of the Prime Minister said that they are reviewing the procedures. So this is an interesting headline, interesting story today.
But I'm going to go back to
that's what they said.
How many other things have they said that they are reviewing, and we still haven't gotten an outcome of it? I mean, I think at this point I want to start keeping a list.
You need a lot
it'll
of
be.
paper.
I know it'll be long.
You can destroy lots of trees. A whole forest will be ruined.
You keep it virtual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we say it was said on this day.
You're going to fill up the cloud then.
Well, we can make it public. I like that. Oh, also, wait, sorry. I don't know if you saw it, but you remember how we were, theorizing that political season is in full swing with about 24 months out, I think it was, early this year. I started seeing the ads over the weekend.
For what, sorry?
Ads, political ads. So I'm wondering if another party may be also keeping track of these things, because that's what the ad was about. It was a track record on energy? Yeah. So could we get a track record on tax collection?
Well, you'll have to do that yourself. You will. Let's take this call before we move on to the other issue that has really got me riled up this morning. Good morning. You're on the air.
Maybe I should have listened to that issue, but
I'm going to get to it in a moment.
Yeah, sorry, but then I wouldn't have to call twice. But if it's interested, maybe if you allow me, I will. God spare life. Good morning to everyone, Poppy. I was saying no, but first of all, what you all explaining, for me who can't see, and for persons, I guess, who could see it, it seems, and it looked like sound like to me, like Gestapo action. But the question should be, if I was playing a reporter now, I would have been asking, does the law allow the task force to do what they're doing? In spite how it come across to us, are they working within the law? No one will like that to happen to their businesses, for them to come on that way. But tell me something. Should it be another question asked, like, should we take responsibility as business boys? And if the law, in spite of how funny it is and where we live in and we don't like all the system, what's going on, to carry our backside into that place and explain that we either don't agree with certain things or we don't have the money or this all we have. If the government telling them to come in and if the government come to them, should we really come down? I mean, I understand they come across like Gestapo, but I think as business persons, we have a personal responsibility to carry our backside and then explain to them. You understand? I call this a one-stop enforcement group in spite of them carrying on like Gestapo. Nobody would like for that to happen, but I guess all us got to by the rules and the law. It happened to all us, the small man and the big man. Sorry it happened to them people, but there's so much more important things to deal with. Anyhow, hang up in the same time.
Okay. That was a lot. The only answer I have to that is two wrongs don't make a right. I mean, I'm sure they're not doing anything against the law, but this is a heavy-handed approach to get people to do what they're supposed to do. And yes, shame on all the businesses who aren't doing what they're supposed to do. But there's got to be a better way to deal with this, a way better way to deal with this. This texter says, is the task force going to businesses with guns drawn? If not, what is the problem? We ask for these agencies to do their jobs, but when they do, we complain. Are we, as a people, really ready for changes? Okay, texter, sure. Yeah. The Bahamas operate. This is how the Bahamas operates. Most shops, you have to buzz the door to get inside. We treat everyone like criminals. But that's what you bringing that up for? I mean, what? What's that got to do with
justification?
That doesn't make any sense. What's the point? Come on, what? Why? Anyway, Morning Blend did this task force start with the Chinese businesses that seem to have gotten a special permit to have dual business practices of selling grocery items and alcohol. I don't know.
Everybody else swinging today.
I have no idea, but I hope they went after everybody who was violating. But again, there is a better way than to walk in there like that. I'm sure there is. All right, so before we get to what's happening with water and sewage and this chaos with Prince Charles Drive now twice in a month, this story is making me very angry, and I am disgusted by this, and all of you should be as well. This is in our paper today. Vehicular manslaughter sentence reduced on appeal. Our Artesia Davis writing about it. A hit-and-run driver who mowed down a pedestrian and failed to stop had her sentence reduced on appeal last week. Altonese Roll's lawyer, Glendon Roll, convinced the appellate court that the sentence of 3 years and 6 months and a $20,000 compensation order was too harsh. The court reduced the sentence to 2 years and cut the compensation order in half. The Court of Appeal did this. 2 years and in half. In May 2023, Altonese Roll pleaded guilty to vehicular manslaughter in the February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2022 death of Sandy Roll. Lots of rolls. I don't, boy. He was mowed down while walking along JFK Drive at 1:40 a.m. Roll's car needed repairs. This is the victim. He needed repairs, and he was walking to work. Prior to the collision, the convict, Altonese Roll, listen to this. She attended several sporting bars,
More than one. Mm-hmm.
where she had several drinks. She told police she was getting drowsy and asked a friend to stay on the phone with her to keep her awake. She said that she dozed off and felt her car hit something. After the impact, she noticed that the windshield of her vehicle had caved in. I wonder what happened. Nonetheless, Roll failed to remain at the scene of the incident and continued driving her damaged car to her friend's home. When she arrived home, she took a shower and the following morning had the vehicle towed to her father's home. She surrendered to the traffic police station on February 17th, 2022, 3 days after the collision. That's bad enough, but here it gets even worse. Roll shouldn't have even been behind the wheel, as she didn't have a driver's license, nor a learner's permit, and the car was unlicensed and uninsured. And the Court of Appeal reduced her sentence.
My mind is unable to comprehend. It cannot. Like, I'm looking for the public outrage for this. Are you saying that the victim's life was worth the reduced sentence? The reduced payout for the family?
I want to know how she only got 3 years and 6 months and $20,000 compensation.
Is this one of those?
How did that happen in the first place?
Is this one of those instances where the laws need to be reformed? I don't know. Can somebody, one of our learned friends, clarify that? Because how? Again, you took a life. You took a life, and not only did you take a life, but you waited 3 days to actually make yourself present to the police, and you knew you were under the influence.
No driver's license.
And you should not have been driving.
No insurance. And the car was unlicensed.
Like, how? So was she not charged on those other things? Because I would think that she would get less.
She got 3 years and 6 months and had to pay $20,000. That's what she got. That's what she got. And now only will have 2 years and $10,000.
No, man, I got to be that.
Welcome to the Bahamas.
But it went to the Court of Appeal.
Welcome to the Bahamas.
So was the case against her not strong enough? Because I'm curious now.
She pleaded guilty. And they're probably going to say, because the lawyers love to say, oh, it was her first offense. And, she did.
Her first offense was murder.
Manslaughter. But
a life was taken.
Yeah, well, first offense, So she
but there are many
offenses.
That's what they do. No, I want to see if I can count the charges.
You could blow up a whole school, and if it's your first offense, you're going to get a very lenient sentence in this country.
Let me understand this, right? So, driving a car, an unlicensed vehicle, driving without a license, driving an uninsured vehicle,
Mowing down someone,
killing somebody. That's
and not
4 things.
reporting for 3 days.
Driving under the influence.
Driving
that's
under the
5.
influence.
That's 5. I'm assuming that traffic lights sort of. See, we had CCTV. Anyway, driving possibly, going past traffic lights and things like that. I mean, that could be assumed. And then I guess the argument would be,
She was talking on the phone.
She was also talking. Oh, and talking
Maybe
on
it
the phone
was
while
hands-free.
driving.
We'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
So that's
It
7.
might have been a
I
hands-free
counted
device.
7 counts.
Might
So
have
I
been
literally
hands-free.
want to know. I want to know. I'm very curious about this.
Can you
Like,
imagine?
what are the charges? Like, which one got knocked off? Because imagine if you had even 5 for each one
The
of
victim,
those.
he got knocked off. That was the only thing that happened. Let's hear from you folks. What do you make of this? How is this happening? Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight and Ms. Cartwright. Just before I speak to the subject you're speaking on, the problem is that most of our laws always somehow seem to be vague in its definition of what exactly it's trying to address, no matter what it is. We have these complaints about murder, we have these complaints about rape, we have these different things about everything even for when the Privy Council says to define the worst of the worst, we choose not to define it, and then we make excuses to say the Privy Council is stopping us when they have given us instructive methodology to fix our problems. And I think it is because we've made a business of crime. Crime is a business in the Bahamas. And you could almost put it as the third pillar of our society with the 1,500 lawyers and the business that continuously connect to it, whether it be bail or this or that. Crime is a business in the Bahamas, and it's been since we had bootlegging, rum running, shipwrecking, whatever it is. It's it's part of our orange economy now, part of our culture and heritage. But now to the aspect of the hard-handedness in tax collection.
Really quickly, because we don't want to get too far from this story.
We're in the 21st century. The government talks about digitization of everything, so there can be a correlation between what taxes collected, what people are spending, and everything. The mere fact that I want you, Dwight, to go back to a couple of weeks ago, and I said to you, in spite of the government claiming these monumental reduction in the deficit and everything else, because they're not doing the work, the repairs that is needed, we see the whole country's falling apart. We are in a cash crisis. The government has financial problems, and the junior minister, I told you from the last term, he is so good at this, he could actually make you believe the rabbit come out of the hat. We're in a cash problem. The economy's not growing, and what we have is smoke and mirror. And what you see them going over to collect every dollar from everybody, that's where it is. They're scraping the barrel.
All right. Thanks a lot. Let's take the other call. Good morning, call. You're on the air. Are you there? No, call us back. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. All right. Let's read some of these messages here. This is going back to what we were talking about earlier. I've heard NIB officers describe how they perform investigations. They don't go in with bright yellow NIB signs on their heads. They first go in as regular customers, secret shoppers, basically to determine if their information is based on assumption and has teeth. And they don't do that once. They do it multiple times. When they're satisfied that something is wrong, they go in officially. And funny enough, they never carry bullets or demand NIB payments on the spot. And if you're talking about boat inspection, as far as I know, all boaters have to submit an application prior to arriving. By the time the armed officers reach, they haven't what? Well, okay, now it's totally changed tone. But anyway, they're saying none of this makes sense. Yeah. This is back to the case. This person says here, I am enraged, especially since the woman's attorney is Baptist minister, pastor. Where is? Oh boy. Okay. Wow. Our Court of Appeal reduced her sentence and fine. Ridiculous. She shouldn't have gotten more. She should have gotten more time for all those illegal actions. After all of that, you hide your vehicle. Pleading guilty was, This country has become a cesspool of evil. Wow. Who are the appellate court? How did these individuals decide that her 3-year punishment was too harsh? These are Bahamian people. You don't know who's in the appellate court? Yeah, this is not the Privy Council. These are Bahamians, your own people. That's what. Okay. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, let's squeeze in this call before we go to the break there. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
Tell that young man that the worst of the worst is to kill a police officer. I'm sure you know it because the reason why that is because no person has a right to kill one of His Majesty's royal subjects because they wear the Union Jack thing on their shoulder.
That's not the worst. We've had police officers killed since our last execution.
When the law was passed, Dwight.
Okay. Well, has that person been executed? Who killed the police officers who've been killed since the last time we had execution? So, what are we talking about in terms of what constitutes for an execution?
The worst of the worst is known as to kill a police officer.
And not necessarily. But okay, thank you very much. Like I said, that's what they use as a criteria for executions, and we've had a few of those since then, and so it doesn't even make a difference. We don't know, but we could change it if we wanted to, and apparently we don't because it's been the same thing. Define it whatever way you want it, but we haven't. All right, let's go to the break. When we come back, another issue getting us all riled up. What in the world is happening with the water lines in eastern New Providence? Why yesterday another multi-hour outage in the same spot as the one a month within feet? The same area as the giant sinkhole a few years ago, as the spot in May, just a few feet from that one yesterday again. What is going on? How safe are we in that area? And why are thousands of people in eastern New Providence suffering now monthly?
And the suffering.
We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Kill me today, you cannot kill like tomorrow. Murder, you're inside, must see hello. How does it feel to take a life? You can hide from man, but not your conscience. Who know you be brother, sorrow, take the wine of violence. Allow yourself to be conquered by the serpent. Why you disobey the first commandment? Walk through the valley, I fear no pestilence.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. The Supreme Court's expected to issue a critical decision today on whether former President Trump has immunity from prosecution for his actions related to the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Steve Bannon is going to prison today, the AP's Jennifer King.
Longtime Donald Trump ally Steve Bannon reports to prison in Connecticut today to serve a 4-month sentence. On Friday, the Supreme Court rejected Bannon's emergency appeal. A jury found Bannon guilty of 2 counts of contempt of Congress for refusing to sit for a deposition with the January 6th House Committee and refusing to provide documents related to efforts to overturn Trump's 2020 election laws. Jennifer King, Washington.
Hurricane Beryl's been closing in on the southeastern Caribbean. The storm's been expected to make landfall in the Windward Islands this morning. Hurricane warnings have been in effect for Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada, Tobago, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm Rita Foley.
7:47 time for your first good traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Get a no-fee auto loan with up to 100% financing In real-time traffic this morning so far, we are seeing some heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway just north of Fire Trail on your way to Tawny Quilliam Starling Highway in the northbound lanes there. Your alternate routes are looking much better for you. Glasson Road, only a bit of congestion north of Munnings Road if you're heading northbound. And over on Blue Hill Road, we're seeing some congestion near Soldier Road and just north of the hill on your way to Independence Drive if you're heading northbound. Elsewhere, into downtown on West Bay Street near Nassau Street, you're going to be seeing some congestion there, eastbound on Nassau, well, north and southbound on Nassau Street, and eastbound on West Bay Street. And portions along Eastern Road as you approach Montague, especially westbound at this hour. Robinson Road near Old Trail and East-West Highway westbound. And just a reminder about Prince Charles Drive. You're reduced to a single lane if you're heading westbound near where that water leak was yesterday. As we're seeing right now, that's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/carloan/all of you for more information. And it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. We've got a surface trough west of the Bahamas that continues to support pockets of showers and thunderstorm activity over portions of the country. Meanwhile, Atlantic high-pressure ridging will continue to support moderate to locally fresh winds across the country through tonight. Boaters should be alert for possible waterspout activity. Beachgoers should exercise caution along Atlantic exposures due to the risk of rip currents. And everyone is being advised to limit outdoor activities, remain hydrated, and wear loose-fitting clothing during peak sunshine hours. For today, for the Northwest Bahamas, we're looking at partly to mostly cloudy, very warm, and humid conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms today through tonight. For the central and southeastern islands, variably cloudy, a bit hazy, and a bit breezy, with a few passing showers and a slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Temperatures today getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 78 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. In your extended outlook, Atlantic high pressure along with another batch of Saharan dust will support a drier regime across the area, along with moderate to locally strong winds Tuesday into Wednesday. So for Tuesday, tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, hot and hazy with a stray shower or two possible, turning mostly fair and warm at night. Wednesday, a mix of sun and clouds, hot and hazy again with a stray shower or two possible, fair and warm at night. We'll have a closer look at the tropics, very active right now with Hurricane Beryl, Tropical Storm Chris, and another system behind Beryl. We'll give you all of that in our next weather check after the 8 o'clock news. This weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Are you stuck in traffic, wasting expensive gas? Well, Easy Car Sales invites you to take a test drive in an electric vehicle today. Empower yourself, test drive an EV, zero emissions, maximum excitement. Visit easy242.com and find out how you can turn your daily commute into a joyride.
RBC. Are you buying a home, renovating, or exploring mortgage options? With cash back and up to 90% financing, we'll find the perfect mortgage for you. Pre-qualify in just 60 seconds and get connected with a mortgage specialist today. Visit rbc.com/mortgages/all of you. RBC. Conditions apply.
Happy Independence Bahamas! Let's celebrate 50 plus 1 together with a unique Janae's Uniform Center Independence print, dry fit polo or t-shirts, ribbons and pole bows in black, gold, and aquamarine. Janae's special family package includes buy 2 adults and 3 children Independence polos or t-shirts and get 15% off. Outfit your staff for a special Independence dress of week or day with a different design. For more than 30 pieces of Janae's Independence polos or t-shirts, get up to 25% discount. Janae's Uniform Center Chesapeake Road Independence Selections. Choose your favorite and celebrate 50 plus 1. Restrictions apply.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Age ain't nothing but a number, they say. Whether you're a baby boomer or a Gen X, Y, or Z, Easy Car Sales invites you to be part of the new Generation E. We drive electric for the savings, for the planet, and most importantly, for the smooth, powerful ride. You really can have it all. We love our EV, and we are Generation E. Join us. Everyone is welcome. Visit IamGenerationE.com to find out more. Brought to you by Easy Car Sales.
Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic is where trusted and best care meets consistency and dedication. Let our expert specialists take you on a healthcare journey where warmth, compassion, and your well-being come first. From diagnosis to prescription, we are with you every step of the way, ensuring your peace of mind. Visit us today at Centerville Medical Center, Collins Avenue and 6th Terrace, and discover quality, compassionate healthcare at Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong, along with Deandra Cartwright, who's having a chuckle at the music choices. This is not a funny situation. It is.
I'm trying to find the humor in it, but when we're playing the song said "Don't go chasing waterfalls," and we are hearing that thousands of people have been without water. I'm sorry, but my brain is creating a scenario where people are chasing waterfalls because they're that desperate to get water. Right? We don't have waterfalls here, but it's like, what do you expect persons to do if they're not getting water to their homes? Nobody, I'm going to say, not everyone has also well water reserves. Some people do both of them, right? And then again, certain areas, like for instance, how many public pumps do we have in the East? Like, where are they located?
No
And then also, if you're not accustomed to that, then
Right, I don't know why you're mentioning that. But also,
sorry, I listen.
Come on now.
I know about those things.
But
just saying.
But I do want to call out our newspapers, including our own Nassau Guardian, for not reporting on this today. I don't understand why this is not. This was a major issue for hours, hundreds of hours, hundreds of thousands of people, everyone east of Fox Hill, with this again, the second time in a month that this has happened in the same area. So this is near the Popeyes. Last month in May, it was right in front of Ashley Furniture. They're right pretty much next to each other. So this is within feet. And a few years back, you remember the sinkhole that was right in that area. This is the third time in just a few years that there's been a major issue here. What is really going on here? We saw pictures from Water and Sewage. And again, I have to salute the Water and Sewage Corporation for at least keeping us posted. Had this been BPL or one of the telecommunications companies, we would not have known up to now what was going on. But Water and Sewage did a good job of letting people know that they identified the problem and what was happening and how many more hours to expect the water to be off. But they're not exactly saying why this keeps happening. And that is a very bad sign. Someone is going to get hurt. Clearly, again, we've had a sinkhole here before. If these leaks keep happening, how safe is this area? And every time we have to dig up the road, and every time they pave it, it is not up to the quality of the initial work that was done on the road. It is much softer and bumpier, lumpier, and so we're going to have issues for quite a while. What is really going on? We're going to explore this after the news. Going to explore this some more, but somebody needs to say what's going on.
Food for thought. What about the restaurants inside the area? Did
Everybody,
they not have
businesses
water?
are being impacted.
Right, but were they in
probably
operation?
weren't allowed to open. Right, no one could get there. The road was closed. So this is costing people tons of money,
revenue,
and this is bad. This is very bad. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Lonely mother gazing out of the window, staring at a sun that she just can't touch. If at any time he's in a jam, she'll be by his side, but he doesn't realize he hurts her so much. But all the praying just ain't helping at all, 'cause he can't seem to keep himself out of trouble. So he goes out and he makes his money the best way he knows how. Another body laying cold in the gutter. Listen to me. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. And now at 8:23, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's happening. Got a lot going on weather-wise, folks. We've got a surface trough just west of the Bahamas that continues to support pockets of showers and thunderstorms over portions of the country. Meanwhile, Atlantic high pressure will continue to support moderate to locally fresh winds across the islands through tonight. Boaters should be alert for waterspout activity. Beachgoers should exercise caution along Atlantic exposures due to the risk of rip currents. And everyone's being advised to remain hydrated, wear loose-fitting clothing, and to limit prolonged sun exposure during peak sunshine hours. Your forecast for today: for the northwest Bahamas, partly to mostly cloudy, very warm, humid, with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms today through tonight. For the central and southeast Bahamas, variably cloudy, a bit hazy, a bit breezy, a few passing showers, and a slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Small craft caution remains in effect for Atlantic exposures. Temperatures today getting into the 90s, near 91 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius for highs. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 78 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. In your extended outlook, Atlantic high pressure ridging along with another batch of Saharan dust will support a drier regime along with moderate to locally strong winds from Tuesday into Wednesday. So for Tuesday and Wednesday, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds, hot and hazy, with a stray shower or two possible, turning mostly fair and warm at night. We've got a lot going on in the tropics. We've got Beryl, we've got Chris, but we also have an area of interest being monitored for development in the central Atlantic. Showers and thunderstorms continue to be associated with this area of low pressure about 1,000 miles west-southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. The system has a 70% chance of formation through the next 7 days. That system right behind Beryl. Here's the latest on Hurricane Beryl. Beryl taking aim at the Windward Islands. Life-threatening winds and storm surge expected to begin this morning. As of 5 o'clock, Beryl was only about 125 miles east-southeast of Grenada, or 140 miles southeast of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Beryl is moving towards the west near 20 miles per hour. A continued quick westward to west-northwest motion is expected during the next few days. On the forecast track, the center of Beryl is expected to move across the Windward Islands and the southeastern and central Caribbean Sea late today into tomorrow or into Wednesday. Maximum sustained winds are near 120 miles per hour with higher gusts. Beryl is a Category 3 hurricane now, and continued fluctuations in strength likely over the next day or so. Beryl is expected to remain an extremely dangerous major hurricane as its core moves through the Windward Islands into the eastern Caribbean. Some weakening is expected through midweek as it moves across the central Caribbean near Jamaica or Haiti, likely on the way to Mexico. Then there is Tropical Storm Chris. Chris bringing heavy rainfall and flooding over portions of eastern Mexico. And Chris is moving towards the west near 12 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds are near 40 miles per hour. The center of Chris will continue to move further inland over eastern Mexico today and will likely dissipate over the higher terrain of Mexico later today. The tropics heating up, very much unlike what we normally see at this time of year. But that is your Morning Blend Weather Check. Weather Check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Get a no-fee auto loan with up to 100% financing. In your traffic alert, just a reminder about Prince Charles Drive, single lane traffic westbound where that water main broke yesterday, where the work was being done. That's near Popeyes if you're heading westbound. So keep that in mind if you're in that part of the island. In your real-time traffic at this hour, we're seeing some heavy traffic on Eastern Road from about Fox Hill straight up to practically Montague. That's westbound mainly. And there are portions where there's some slow-moving eastbound traffic as well. So something unusual at this time of year and at this hour. So keep that in mind. You might want to try some alternate routes. Perhaps that is as a result of what's happening on Prince Charles Drive, why that is busy this hour. But keep that in mind if you're in that part of the island. We've got Soldier Road busy for you just north of the intersection with Robinson and Prince Charles Drive on the way to the intersection with Bernard, Wolf, and Village Roads. That's northbound. Robinson also busy for you westbound near Old Trail. Then we've got Carmichael seeing some slow-moving eastbound traffic near Blue Hill Road. Blue Hill Road seeing heavy pockets near St. Vincent and near Carmichael. And as you get closer to the Independence Drive roundabout, Independence Drive is heavy traffic westbound at this hour. Then we've got Milo Butler Highway seeing some slow-moving heavy traffic from Bellet Road straight through the Fire Trail roundabout straight up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. But Glaston are looking much better as an alternate route for you, just midway between Fire Trail and the roundabout with JFK Drive where you see that slow-moving traffic heading northbound at this hour. That's what we're looking at in your real-time traffic. That's your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/carloan/all of you for more information.
Here's a show when you ask for a moment from Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah, we also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil shrimp,
clays.
stew shrimp, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
I've looked everywhere I can just to find a clue how to get to you and make you want me. And I've run circles round the sun chasing after you. Oh, Can't you see that I'm going out of my mind, trying to find a way to get through to you? Oh, you don't know how hard I try, and I try, and I try. Why do I gotta do? Do I gotta get water from the moon? Is that what I gotta do to make you love me, make you love me? Do I gotta turn the sand into the sea? Is that what you want from me? I've done everything that I can do. Forget what.
It'd be easier to get water from the moon than get water from some parts of eastern Providence.
It's just
it
been
seems.
petty this morning.
Petty.
Yes.
I was out without water for more than 12 hours yesterday.
Oh, well, yes. Okay. So it's justified.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan and Deandra Cartwright. We are trying to figure out what is going on. Why does this keep happening? And we really do appreciate Water and Sewage Corporation. They give updates timely, unlike many of the other utility companies around here. But we're not really getting an answer as to why this keeps happening. This is in the same spot as it did in May. The pipes rupturing. There's a video that Water and Sewage posted. I showed Deandra. I'm going to post it again as well. Of this giant crack in this pipe. And what is going on here? And again, the inconvenience to motorists, to businesses in the area on Prince Charles Drive, and of course the residents who are without water for many hours while these situations are addressed. And we expect things to happen, but this is the third time in just a few years, and the second time in a month and a bit.
That's untenable.
This is insane, right? What is going on? The same general area. And we need answers. And we need them now. And nobody's telling us what's going on. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. What do you think's happening here, folks? How did this impact you yesterday? And what are we going to do about it? Let's hear from you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Deandra.
Yes.
Morning, yes.
I don't have an answer for the water problem. But I'm just calling late because I wanted to, on the topic that you talked earlier about, the lady who mowed down the gentleman.
Yes.
I wanted to give my opinion of why I think she got off real quick.
Okay.
I don't know if you know about the March 8 principles, the ICJ, the International Court of Justice, came out with this document called the March 8 Principles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a document giving guidelines to law globally, and more importantly to the UN states, which we are part of, the United Nations states. And it's a document in conjunction with the United Nations, and they call it a human rights approach to criminal law, proscribing, which is forbidding conduct associated with certain parts of law. And I just wanted to read real quick the introduction to the March 8 Principles, and it says, I quote, criminal law is among the harshest of tools at the disposal of the state to exert control over individuals. As such, it ought to be a measure of last resort where other less restrictive means achieving legitimate interests are insufficient. However, globally, states have exhibited a growing trend towards over-criminalization. And so this is probably going to be a trend from now on, because this is actually, it's almost like being encouraged from higher up internationally. So I just wanted to make that comment because I thought that she got off. It was just ridiculous, the sentence. But it could probably be, something that's being encouraged from the ICJ and these March 8 principles, and you could Google them.
Actually, I just did. I wanted to clarify. The title of the document is the 8 March Principles for a Human Rights-Based Approach to Criminal Law.
Right.
So just confirming if this is indeed the same document, which the complete title, continuing from criminal law, prescribing conduct associated with sex, reproduction, drug use, HIV, homelessness, and poverty. Is that the same one?
Exactly.
That's not the International Court of Justice, unfortunately. That is the International Commission of Jurists. So not issued by the United Nations at all.
It's the ICJ. Yes, they are in connection with the United Nations. If you read it, you'll see where they have actually, it was encouraged by the United Nations to come out with this document.
So just,
it was encouraged by the United Nations to come up with this document. And the thing is, it's actually being encouraged globally. These are documents being encouraged globally to get these laws.
Okay, well, listen, it's all well and good, but what are we going to do about it? What are we as Bahamians going to do about it? Are we going to sit back and allow this to happen? Because this is crazy. This person broke, as we counted, what was it, 5, 6 laws? 7?
Yeah.
And this is insanity. You're driving without a license, driving with a car that's not insured and unlicensed, and you're drunk, and you mow down a guy, and you didn't report it? This is insane. This is insane.
I know, but what can we do when it's
no, we can do a lot.
Oh,
that means diddly squat to me. If we want to change this, if we want to show that we're not going to accept this, we can do something, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Thank you for calling. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, well, we just can't. But see, people are not going to say anything because they say, well, when I'm drunk and I roll over somebody, I don't want them to give me a harsh sentence either. So there aren't going to be many people protesting this at all. And then half the country is driving without a license and without a valid licensing of their vehicle and insurance. So nobody's going to protest this.
No, for sure. Dwight, I just want to clarify, I do appreciate the caller drawing our attention to this document, which has some very valid points in it. But I just don't want us to go down the road to say that the potential approach to, the outcome of this case or any other case would be influenced by a United Nations document. So I'm just confirming that the International Commission of Jurists is not a UN-based entity. It is an international human rights non-governmental organization.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you for that. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
And good morning, Jake. Yeah, man. I had the same similar situation. I was driving my vehicle on the main road. A gentleman came out from a side corner, hit my vehicle, damaged it, and he didn't even have no insurance. And I had to fix my own vehicle by myself, which ran me in at least about over $1,000. So I asked the officer, I said, well, sir, what am I supposed to do now? He said, how am I supposed to get my vehicle fixed? He told me that what I have to do, I have to try and see if I can find the driver and put him in court so I could get my money back. Now I'm frustrated now, upset, angry, and I have to go look for this fella, the serve him with someone for him to go to court.
Wow.
So I could get my vehicle, so I could get compensated for my vehicle.
My God.
Now you know about to find that fella. It wasn't going easy.
Yeah.
I thought the officers them is normally do that investigation and stuff like that. I don't know that the citizens have to go look for this person.
It's crazy. You've heard horror stories like this before. It's very, very, very sad.
It just didn't make. And I was off the road for a whole 2 years.
Wow.
That's my waking vehicle.
Wow.
Whole 2 years.
That's terrible.
Because the vehicle, it's difficult trying to find parts for it. Whole 2 years. I just was hiking right, trying to get work out of it, just so I could keep a couple dollars in my pocket and also I'll try to fix my vehicle as well.
My goodness.
It's just boy, Dwight, if I had to find a fella, trust me, it wasn't going easy like that. They tell me I have to go and look for him and serve him as someone to go to court.
Yeah, that is rough.
Anyhow, that's one thing I called for. The next thing I called for, Dwight, tell me something. These pipes, these 24-inch water pipes, correct?
I'm not sure of the size. I think that's what they said. They're
Yeah,
pretty big.
You think these pipes are dry rot or something?
I have no idea, but that crack is gigantic, and it doesn't look good.
Because I was there when they were taking them out of the ground. I mean, and these pipes, like, it's like somebody just throw something heavy on them, and just I don't understand why the pressure just destroying them. So which other pipe is going to be next on Prince John?
Why does this keep happening? What is going on, right? We really need to know.
Because I was to Airbnb on the weekend, and man, listen to me. the lady she accommodated as much as she could. Because I was bathing in aquapure water for 2 days.
Oh boy! Wow.
Aquapure water. Every time a 5-gallon finished, she put her next one there. Every time the one finished, she put her next one there. I mean, that's the richest I ever bathed in my life. Aquapure water.
Unbelievable.
And it cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
I was there for 2 days.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Wow. Thanks a lot.
Y'all take care.
Yeah, you too. You too. My goodness. Wow. Some more messages here before we go to a break. This person says here, why are those pipes bursting so regularly in eastern New Providence? Those pipes were installed during the road improvement project less than 20 years ago. Yeah, 2012, about 11, 12. They have lasted, they should have lasted longer. Nothing makes sense on this island. Well, something is causing it. And again, it's all in the same area. What is doing that? When the first pipe broke in 2022, I think it was, as a texter, I texted and asked whether the break could have been related to the earthquake in a Caribbean part of the Caribbean a week earlier. I remember people in Inagua felt tremors. At the time, the theory was that the leak had caused some degradation to the soil foundation, leading to a hole. My question was, what had caused the break, then the leak? Please urgently request assistance from the U.S. Army of Corps engineers. Okay, didn't they have some technology to locate Osama inside?
Oh wow!
Inside mountain ranges, I'm sure they can find a cavity if one exists. Those breaks could hint at a much bigger issue. Well, that part definitely seems to be the truth. Definitely hinting at a much bigger issue. This texture says, when you fix one spot, the pressure finds the next weakest spot. So rather than doing piecemeal work, they probably have to dig up and replace a much longer length of the pipe to fix the problem properly. Well, we're learning that the hard way, it seems. This person says here, Sunday was nothing but horror on the streets in the east, especially trying to navigate on Foxville Road, Joe Fangler Road, San Luis Village Road, Lily Road, Drive, I think it is, Seabreeze Lane. I mentioned all those roads because many others had to turn around several times because the traffic was not moving. I eventually ended up on Seabreeze Lane, where I was for 45 minutes before getting on to Bay. Yeah, okay, well, that's what happens when they close Prince Charles Drive. It's a major thoroughfare, and that is going to lead to all the other streets being a nightmare. So you're getting a point, and this will only keep happening if we don't address what is really causing these pipes to break. So get used to it. Get used to it. And everyone knows all those other streets, so everyone's going to be there thinking like you. Yeah, just be thankful it was on a Sunday again. And not a day when people had to go to work. This person says, yeah, that's really ridiculous. I was without water from the time I got home or at 11 p.m. Saturday night until about 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Wow. Yeah, people were saying it was Saturday night. I'd gone to sleep, I guess, early, but I noticed it when I woke up at 5, 6 o'clock. And like, what is this? Not again. And, until about 3:30, 4 o'clock for me. I point my finger at civil engineers and the people they report to. Clearly, there's a geological fixture that predisposes sinkholes along that road. Lots of people are geologist types in this place today. The added weight of a 4-lane highway doesn't help. Do you believe it was, oh gosh. Do you believe that if it were a male driver that a similar sentence would have been given?
Oh my goodness. You know the way that
you don't
some
have to
persons
answer this. We don't have to answer. But anyway, I'm curious to know what you think.
No, I'm just saying that the way that we gender certain issues and whatnot. I'm actually proud of the texter because it could have gone another way.
Which way would it have gone? Which way?
some persons say that,
You'd have gotten a harsher sentence?
That particular drivers are more inclined to do things. There are stereotypes that exist. So they went with the reverse. I'm like, oh, okay, this is refreshing.
Okay. A simple innovation in education would be driver's education for high schoolers, but we're stuck in the 50s. Well, I'm the one who's pushing that. I've been pushing that for a long time, but I don't think that would change anything here. This person's a lawbreaker, right? You're driving without a license, you're driving an unlicensed vehicle without insurance, and you're drunk, so no amount of driver's ed would change a buffoon.
They're willingly doing it.
You're just born to be a clown. So
could that be another charge, like complete disregard of the law? It gotta be.
When a police officer called me from my mom's cell phone, I thought she was dead. A man crossed the median on the highway, hit her head on, totaled her car valued at $10,000, gave her a $20,000 hospital bill. He never showed up to court. No license, insurance, or inspection. Why can't they change the law to take them directly to jail until the court hearing? Oh, boy. We will absolutely do nothing because we are not leaders. We follow. Victims have no rights in this country because our laws protect criminals. That is why, of late, people who feel something wrong was done to them do not rely on the courts. Okay. We may not like it, but water main breaks are expected. Every day, breaks are happening on the system. It just happens to be on the major transmission line. Google water main breaks, and you will get tons of info to verify. Oh, okay. So we just get used to no water for 12 hours and a whole disruption of a major highway. That's just how it is. That's great. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's do it. Okay. Anyway, this person says the seriousness is that at least 1 out of 10 vehicles doesn't have a license plate. I think it's much more than that, which means that many unlicensed and uninsured vehicles are mixed with those who are waiting plates. This needs fixing. Absolutely. All right, we're running out of time for the segment. Let's take one more call, and then we're going to go to a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing well.
I'd like to add to what the gentleman spoke about, the court system. I had two cases pertaining to my rent, and the lady told me that I have to go serve them a summons. I said, well, ma'am, they didn't leave a forwarding address with me. How am I supposed to know where to find them? She told me I got 20 years to find them. Now, that's a flaw in the judicial system, or they're just not carrying out the law. Because like he said, I thought that's what the police was for. Somebody didn't show back up to court to finish the case. A summons should be set out for a warrant, or a summons should be set out for them. Not leave it, because if you have the public having to go and find these people, you don't know what is going to happen. So you don't want the people to mix up with the people you're suing in court. And it's going to cause a problem one day.
Wow,
so crazy. I think they need to correct that or carry out what the law says. They're supposed to be responsible for finding the person. Thank you.
Yeah, something has to be done. Absolutely. You want to squeeze that one in really quickly? Let's do that as we go to the break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi. Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. Good morning to you and Deandra.
Morning.
I just wanted to get to that point with these license plates. You remember when we first started with these AA and AB license plates? Mm-hmm. We were told that the license plate that we have, or that we were issued at that time, that we would keep those, that would be our number forever. Mm-hmm. Is that still going on? Because I'm amazed. If you have sold a vehicle, you are supposed to keep your license plate and it be used for the next vehicle. We need to find out, is that still in place?
That is in place. I did it last year, but people don't want to go through the hassle. It's not it's not an entirely simple process, but I certainly insisted that I did it. So yeah,
and then
it is definitely in place.
Another thing, with regard to the water in the eastern area, and I sympathize with those people.
Mm-hmm.
But we are having a lot of rain, and as we prepare for hurricanes, we always try to have water on hand, whether we catch it through the rain process or whatever. But people need to, the people who are going through this hardship right now, I think you need to save some water, and we probably need a chemist to come on and tell us how to cure the water or purify the water so we don't have any illnesses. But we have a lot of rain coming down now, and I believe people just need to save some water. The same way we prepare for a hurricane with the water preservation, I believe it needs to happen with those people now. It's sad, but something needs to be done.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. I mean, how much water can you save? It's going to be, most of your house will be just filled with water containers at this rate. Hey, as people say, the pipes break, and that's fine. But obviously, if it's the same area 3 times in 2 years, in fact, twice in a month, you've got a bigger problem. What is the problem?
Yes.
Does anyone know? And is anyone trying to fix the problem? That's the concern. And it doesn't seem like anyone's telling us that they are aware of what's going on. And that's what has those people, including myself, who live in Eastern New Providence, terrified. Right? Because you got to go through this probably again in a month, if not sooner. We'll be back, folks. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio. Stay with us.
Your heart, but even that's not enough. And I searched every book I know just to find the words. Oh, to touch your world and get some love out of you. I've already given all I can give and adore.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
Are you ready to elevate your day with a burst of flavor? Look no further than Dunkin', your ultimate destination for everything delicious. From our freshly brewed coffee that is sure to pick you up, to our signature frozen beverages that will cool you down. And don't forget our mouth-watering sandwiches, made to order all day. Dunkin' has it all. And of course, our lineup of fresh donuts, muffins, and more. Dive into a world of yummy flavors at Dunkin' and bring joy to your day. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, go play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Nassau is the capital, Bahamas. Bimini is the gateway, Bahamas. 1492, Columbus landed. 1973, we were free. From Nassau to Inagua, Bahamas. From Freeport to McWanna, Bahamas. Tourists love our country, Bahamas. 700 islands, Bahamas. Happy Independence, Bahamas. Happy anniversary, Bahamas. Happy Independence, Bahamas. Golden anniversary, Bahamas. Regarding in Tuma, Bahamas. Fishing in Long Island, Bahamas. Sailing on the Melbourne, Bahamas. Diving, conking, West End, Bahamas. Peas and rice and fried fish, Bahamas. Pineapple from Iluka, Bahamas. Mango from Inagua, Bahamas.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright. And this morning we are going to get some details, changing gears, going to get some details about the Goombay Summer Festival. Is that I know these days got to get this. That's it, right?
It's Goombay Summer Festival.
Goombay Summer Festival. Let's get your mic up there. From the Ministry of Tourism, very pleased to have back with us Nikki Reed Simmons. Good morning, Nikki.
Good morning. How's everyone this morning?
You're doing
Good. How are you?
Good. Excited. Goombay's about to start.
Yes.
Yeah. This is when? What are the dates?
So it actually kicks off this Thursday in Grand Bahama at Taino Beach. And then Friday, if you're interested in island hopping, Friday is in Treasure Key at the Treasure Key Park. But every week you're going to find lots of activities on all of the islands because we're going to actually be in South Andros, Mangrove Key, Cat Island, Harbor Island, Long Island, Exuma, San Salvador, Bimini, and of course, you can't leave out Nassau.
Okay, so for those who aren't familiar with how Goombay Summer Festival is now, tell us what it's all about and what it aims to do.
So Goombay Summer Festival is really a vibrant celebration of Bahamian culture, music, and of course community. And we're excited to host this event as we've been doing in the past. Here in Nassau, of course, this is going to be our second year. I would say before that, maybe like we had a 10, 12-year break on Bay, but we're back on Bay again this year. We're excited about that. And really, from an economic standpoint, the festival plays a significant role in boosting tourism, providing, economic opportunities for people on the islands, the local community. It brings people together. They foster a sense of community. And of course, it showcases the rich culture of the Bahamas. So we our Bahamians benefit from a lot of local foot traffic. And there's no other better way for our visitors to experience the warmth and the hospitality of our people.
Yeah, wow. So how long does it last for?
So it starts on Thursday coming, which is July 4th, and it goes straight into August, which is August 24th. The last one is going to be in Eleuthera on the 24th. Here in Nassau, we are the 26th of July, then we're on the 9th of August, and then again on the 16th of August.
Wow.
So, everybody's going to have a wonderful time. We look forward to having everyone attend and, enjoy our music, our culture.
All right, so you can tell us what's going to happen each day on every island, every time it moves through, or?
So what I can tell you is there's going to be an array of activities. Now, you're going to obviously have live music performances by renowned Bahamian artists like Veronica Bishop, D-Mac, Blondie, Gino D., Shine 242. There'll be fire dancing, live cultural showcases, storytelling. You're going to see some of the work from our artisans. There's this guy out of Freeport. He does sea glass blowing, all of the above. And so it's an opportunity to come and see what we have to offer. Let the tourists learn more about it. As I said, the rake and scrape plays a role with the music, but we also have the storytelling. Everything that showcases our rich culture.
Mm-hmm. All right, so how does it work exactly? Everybody who's going to be at one island will move to the other one, or are you just going to take advantage of the artisans who are on that island?
So what we do, we take advantage of those on those islands.
Okay.
However, there may be one or two, like for instance with the food, food is a big component as well.
Mm-hmm.
We may bring in one or two artists or chefs, I should say, who do something specific that maybe, let's say for Nassau, that a Nasuvian may not be doing. It happens like that sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But the focus is on island. You're going to find whoever's on that island, that vendor is going to showcase what they have to offer.
I love that approach right there to showcase persons on that island, their craft, and also you're going to draw in people from that island because they know that so-and-so know how to cook.
Exactly.
Crab and dough. So they're going down to the site.
Exactly.
to get that.
Yeah.
There's going to be lots of great food. I mean, some people like this new vegan conch salad. There's going to be crab duff. There are lots of interesting things now. Bahamians are very talented, Dwight, and they're getting into it. They're all about showcasing who we are as a people.
Yeah. All right. So, can you tell us what's going to be happening in Nassau on July 26th?
So, well, I can't give you the full show.
Oh, boy.
But it's going to be a great show. I want everybody to come out and see what we have to offer, but the best in the entertainment, the food. Why don't you come out, Dwight? Participate.
I will.
You have to come out.
So the 26th, that's a Friday.
That's a Friday.
So most of these are going to be on Fridays?
In Nassau, yes.
In Nassau on Fridays.
Yes. Now, we have some on the islands that are on Saturdays. But you know what? I could give you some dates on all the islands.
Yeah,
so,
let's do
for
that.
instance, now we have to make some changes, but in South Andros right now, it's going to be July 12th. Mangrove Key, July 13th. Cat Island is going to be July 27th. Harbor Island is also July 13th. Long Island is July 13th. In Abaco, as I said, this Friday coming is going to be the Treasure Key Park. But then again, on the 19th of July, it's going to be in Marsh Harbor at the BAIC Park. Exuma, it's going to be the 20th of July, and then again on the 27th of July. In San Salvador, it's going to be on the 26th at the Grams Harbor Park. In Bimini, Radio Beach, July 26th. That's going to be a hot one too, Dwight. You may want to check that out.
Radio Beach.
Radio Beach,
Okay.
yes. And then there's also, as I said, Grand Bahama starts July 4th, and they're for 4 weeks, and they end on the 25th. And as I said, for Nassau, we start on the 26th and go straight into August 16th. Central Andros, which is at the Queen's Park in Fresh Creek, is August 3rd. Eleuthera, Lower Bogue is August 10th. And then again in Savannah Sound on August 24th. And there you have it.
Okay. All right. And where again in Nassau? This is going to be
Downtown Bay Street between Russin Square and Charlotte Street.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So
At what time?
It starts in the evenings at 6:30. It's hot. It's hot. I don't want anyone to come out before and be too tired. It's going to be a fabulous show on all the islands. Going to
So
be
we
a fabulous
closing
show.
off the street, or what are we doing?
Oh, we have to close off. We're gonna we're gonna get you some more information as it relates to traffic management and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to close off on Fridays
Okay.
for sure. We want you to be able to have fun and
That's going to be great.
a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful stuff. All right. So people are asking, how can they see this list if they want? Where on social media can they find
so
it?
they can go to our tourismtoday.com and bahamas.com where all of the information is listed.
All right. And then do you have any information on packages on how to get to these islands if you want to go to every single festival? Although some are running at the same time, right?
Some are running at the same time. Of course, Bahamas Air. Bahamas Air goes to most of the islands, and where Bahamas Air doesn't go, Western Air is there as well. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity. Learn more about each island. If you haven't been, I'm looking forward to taking my son to quite a few because he, yes, he's been abroad and everything, but it's really important to learn more about your culture. And so he's looking forward to it as well. He's going to Abaco this week with me. He's never been there. So he's looking forward to that.
Okay.
All right. Somebody's asking again, repeat the dates for Eleuthera. When and where in Eleuthera?
Oh, okay. Eleuthera. Now, there are 3 locations for Eleuthera, and the first one is Lower Bogue, which is August 10th. Then it's in Savannah Sound again, August 24th. And there's one in Harbor Island, which is July 13th.
Okay. All right. So that's going to be amazing. And
Also, for Harbor Island, they could perhaps go on the fast ferry, go straight into Harbor Island.
Right.
Can do that as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great option. So you're going to come back and tell us about Nassau when we get closer?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay, let's do
Absolutely. And I want to make sure you both are there.
Yeah. Sounds wonderful.
I will have to be there, I must say, when
Yes.
my baby sister comes down from Long Island.
Okay.
During the summertime, she stays with me.
Okay.
And I promise you, the Goombay Summer Festival is always on her to-do list. So the child
Yes.
drags me out there, and we're out there all night.
Very good. Very good. So you had a good time last year.
Listen, she's obviously a teenager.
Yeah.
She was
Sure,
so
she'll appreciate you calling her the child.
Listen, all of her siblings are grown adults, so she literally we will always call her the child, no matter how old she gets, right? No,
Wow.
but she was just so enthused about, the variety of foods because the vendors that were out there, you didn't just have your traditional Bahamian food. But like you said, Bahamians are creative, especially when it comes to our food. Then the music, the girl child was in the front and she was guarding her space. She was like, I want to see the pop band perform. I want to see this. And it was like
Yes.
such a variety
Yes.
of entertainment.
Yes.
I'm like, I was so happy to see so many persons from society. You had younger folks out there, older folks out there.
That's right.
And just so much things to do. And then if you didn't get your, it was still July Independence paraphernalia, you had shirts out there you could also get.
That's
so
correct.
it's like you were just feeling the love of Bahamian culture.
Yes, and that's what we want to push. In my department, which is the Cultural and Authentic Events Department, we look for opportunities to showcase our culture, show the diversity. What you may find in Long Island, you're going to see something totally different in Exuma or Harbor Island, Spanish Wells, you name it.
Yeah.
So we want to push that.
All right. And again, as you said, in Nassau, Friday, July 26th, and I'm sure you're going to get a lot of the visitors coming in to see that as well.
Absolutely. We're going to have all of our stopover visitors, our cruise visitors. Yes. It's going to be a fabulous time.
All right. Great stuff. Nikki Reed Simmons, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank
Again,
you for
we'll
having
talk
me.
with you again soon. Golden
Yes.
Bay Summer Festival, looking forward to it. Starting Thursday.
Starting Thursday on Taino Beach. Shout out to Novalari and his team in Grand Bahama and Kendi McPhee Ferguson in Abaco, which Treasure Key will be hosting the next day, which is Friday, July 5th.
It's great stuff. Great stuff. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
All right. Talk to you again soon. We're going to take a break for news and be back with Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
So, oh, just me and you. What we can do? Comfort too. I got it up. Go smooth. Be down by solid so. Oh, just me and you. What we can do? Comfort too. I text this girl. She texts me back. She says she ready for some of that. I say what you talking about? You know. She stopped the show. Well, let's go. I pick her up around 9 o'clock. We head down by the dock on a go smooth. Be down by solid so. Oh, just me and you. What we can do? Comfort too. I got it up. Go smooth. Be down by solid so. Oh, just me and you. What we can do? Comfort too.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Monday, July 1st, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, along with Deandra Cartwright. And this morning, we're going to get a preview of a special event coming up. It's a master class called From Nourishment to Flourishment. Rhonda Wright from Seedlings Place is back with us to tell us all about this. Good morning. It's been a while. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning. Yes, and good morning to the listening audience. It is wonderful to be back. It has been a while. Yes.
All right, so a master class, and you're going to be tackling these things. Hey, I need to learn some about. So many things
we all
need to be
do.
thinking. We all need to be thinking about. How did the idea come about to do this?
So, of course, you would know, and those who are not familiar with me, I'm the founder of Seedlings Place, an organization that has been on the ground since 2007 to promote, to support, and bring the community together around living healthy, and the primary vehicle for that is eating plant-based foods. No, you don't have to be vegan, which is always the first question that I'm asked, because that is my lifestyle. I'm 100% plant-based, which means that I don't eat any meat or meat products. However, it is important, particularly at this juncture where we are in life, given the monumental health concerns and lifestyle diseases and just lack of joy, lack of energy, lack of vibrancy in our everyday life, that we pay close attention to the reasons for that. And one of the key reasons, as research will show, is the food that we're eating and the lifestyles that we live, which are so very different from that of our grandparents, right? And so under the auspices of Seedlings Place, as I've done many things in the community, to that end, the masterclass is just another one of those opportunities to be able to share, and it's called From Nourishment to Flourishment: 7 Steps to End Unhealthy Eating, Heal the Body, and Banish Low Energy. And really just hitting on those key things that are important to all of us, right? Because many of us are not feeling well, we're lethargic, we don't have the energy, and many of us actually want to make changes. So no, you don't have to be 100% vegan, but we definitely want to learn how we can change what's on our plate so that it is truly nourishing us in a way that provides us with the fuel that we need in order to be our very best, to live optimally, to feel good in our body. Yeah. And so that's the catalyst for wanting to do this. As I had one in January as well. So I'm just continuing to do the work that I've done for many years as an extension of my lifestyle.
Wow. All right. So we're going to get details on the masterclass in just a bit. But some of the things you mentioned, the low energy and healing the body. What's causing the low energy? Is it just the food? Is it because it's hot? What's happening?
Yeah. Well, the reality is when you talk about being healthy, there are multiple factors. There's no one thing that is the direct result. However, certainly a huge category, which is common for every single one of us who lives and breathes, and that is that we eat. Right? And again, back to the evidence. Evidence will show that there are certain lifestyle behaviors that we have been engaging in. There's been a meteoric rise almost in certain things. The food that we eat has changed. We're lethargic. We're no longer moving the way that we used to. We're stressed and we're busy, so we're not resting and rejuvenating as the body needs to do as well. We're not getting out into fresh air, into nature. We're not as connected as we need to be in our relationships. So there's a lot that's happening with us that contributes to what is happening. Food is a huge area because that's the area that we are taking in, are exposed to a large percentage of either nourishment, nutrients, which is what obviously the purpose of eating is to gain nourishment so that you have and energy, so that you have the energy needed, right? But unfortunately, the food that we're eating is not as nutritious as it used to be, number one, because of so many reasons. The soil that it's grown in is denatured. Wow. We are really and truly, I just had a conversation with Dr. Arlington Lightborn, who's the president of Bahamas Wellness Clinic. And he and I were chatting, and he, just made the comment that the bar has gone so low that we are now not even trying to say to people, go eat your fruits and vegetables. We're now at the point where we're just trying to say, eat real food. Just eat real food. Wow. If you look at the statistics, I think about 60% of people in the U.S., adults in the U.S., are eating 60% of the food that they eat, rather, is processed food. processed food. So the lion's share of what we're eating is chemically laden. It's filled with hormones, pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, all the things, the preservatives, the additives, all of the things that are added to the food to add to shelf life, to make it cheaper for the companies to get it to us. And the more, and of course there's fast food, there's the way that we prepare the foods, which, so there are a lot of factors. So making the change is challenging. And I totally understand why. I never come from a place of judgment. I grew up eating the typical Bahamian diet just like everybody else. I wasn't born a plant-based eater, right? But I've been on the journey for over 20 years. And so I understand, and I've supported hundreds of people. So I understand the challenges, and they're real. They're very real. The challenges that we face, the food that we're eating, there are something called craveability experts. So there are scientists whose job is to create chemicals that will ensure that when we eat the food that we become addicted to it, and that's why we want more. We can't let it go, and so it's not by accident. It's the way that the food is engineered, and that word is used intentionally because it's literally engineered.
My goodness.
And so wanting people to be aware of this, so one that they kind of put down the guilty feeling, because it really isn't. I like to say that it's not your fault, but it is absolutely our fight to become aware and to make the decision to make changes. And so the reason why I started Seedlings Place was to bring people together around that cause. I was just talking to your wonderful producer out front, and I told him that what helped me at the very beginning was the fact that I had a community of people, one of which is now my husband, a community of people who were already on the journey. They had been on the journey for years prior to me even coming into awareness of this whole way of eating. And being around them, because of their knowledge, their encouragement, I was never forced to do anything, but obviously I was curious. It started off by me having the opportunity to taste the food. Even before I met them, I tasted the food. I visited a friend who was already eating vegan food. It was there. I tasted it. It looked good. Oh, take the number for the person who sells it. Sakani Nash is his name. He doesn't do it anymore. Yes, but he had his partner had a vegan food delivery service at the time. And so I started ordering, and the food was the bomb. I mean, it was phenomenal. Anybody who has tasted his food from back in the day, they know Sakani could throw down. And that was my introduction. Thankfully, in a beautiful way, my taste buds were already tantalized. And so as I got to know him and the rest of his friends, they were on the journey. And so then my curiosity was piqued. I already enjoyed the food. My curiosity was piqued as I listened to them, talked to them, and I decided to research for myself. So I voraciously dove in, reading articles, books, and videos. I remember just sitting in my cubicle at Texaco at the time, just spending hours, because, it's like a rabbit hole. The more that you click, it just takes you deeper and deeper. And the bottom line is that I made the decision to not ignore the research, the comparative research that I did following this person, that person, because it was an eye-opener. I was angry initially because I said, how is it that at this age, late 20s, I had no idea about all of this. I mean, it blew my mind, the amount of information that I learned about the food that I was eating, things that I thought was healthy that really wasn't, and the effects that certain foods could have on you. And so that's how my journey started. Yeah. And from there, then just wanting to do my best to ensure that others weren't coming from a place of not knowing, from a place of ignorance. So I wanted to ensure that I did my part to add to the dialogue, to the conversation, so that people are at least armed with the information, regardless of the decision that they make, because it's a personal decision. And again, never from a place of judgment. And again, no, you don't have to be 100% vegan, but in this day and age, given the circumstances of, again, the level of chronic disease, what's happening in the food industry, among other things, just, life in general. They say that life is already hard, or it's already difficult. We don't need to make our food a part of that as well. Wow. So let's take control of the things that we can. And what we eat is one of those primary areas that we have control. We have control in terms of making the decision of what we put to our mouth, even though, the food industry has done a great job of making it very difficult. We are surrounded, bombarded. We don't live in a world that makes it convenient, that encourages it, that facilitates it. And so there are real barriers.
Yeah.
You know, they're real barriers, but I want people to know that it is absolutely possible, as I said, and I think at this juncture it's necessary. This generation, Dwight, is the first generation, again, research will show, that will be the first to die younger than their parents.
My goodness.
So our children are relying on us to make a change and to make a difference. Even whether the change happens in our lifetime or not, it begins with us being the example and taking control as best as we can, one step at a time. Again, just talking to the producer, people are challenged because, again, I do believe that many people really want to make some changes, but it seems like this huge, humongous thing that I just can't get over this hump, or what to do and where to start, and, you know, or they feel like, you know, like they just have no control. Like, I just, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to die of something. And so they feel almost hopeless.
Yeah.
And so I want to be that one of those lights in the dark to, as I say, plant the seeds, to give people the information, and not just the information, but tangible support to help them to make those changes, because it is absolutely possible. Is it easy? No, it's not, but nothing worth doing usually is.
Well, I know you say that the food quality and it's hard to get people to eat whole food these days, but is it because of vitamins, supplements? Are we being encouraged to take these to make up, to fill in those gaps? Is there an over-reliance on this now?
On supplements?
On supplements and vitamins.
Well, I think...
or taking them.
Yes, I think that it is. So number one, if you have decided to take supplements, first of all, you want to be clear that you need them. That's number one, because, you know, again, because we live in a world that's just telling us to pop a pill to fix everything,
Right.
and that's kind of a part of that dialogue. We automatically go that route to try and fix it externally, which is fine. I have no issues with that, because the reality is, because of the food and the lack of nutrients, etc., and because we're not taking the time, whether you're plant-based or not, we're not taking the time to really plan balanced meals. Again, we're moving fast, convenience, lifestyle, et cetera, and we're eating primarily processed foods. And so we do have deficiencies. And so when they are verified and confirmed, and you're guided by a professional to do that, then absolutely I encourage that. And I know great places where you can get really quality, reputable supplements, and people who can guide you on that as well. And of course, do what our grandparents did. Man, listen, go to the ground. The herbs that we have available to us in terms of, Cerecy and all of the things that we used to do, again, with guidance, or if you're like me, interested in learning more for yourself, there's so many things that we can do that can help to close that gap in regards to the deficiencies that we do actually have. But I think that we need to not look at that, no herb or supplement you can't pop a pill to get rid of the underlying issues, whether it's an herbal supplement or not. And so it's important that we go to the foundation and to the underlying reasons and causes for the challenges that we're having. And the reality is, and again, I support the medical industry in regards to its purpose, which is to ensure that we stay alive. And so if I have an emergency, take me to the hospital, because I want to ensure that I can, stay alive. But at the end of the day, the conventional medical industry is managing sickness. It's not creating health. Again, statistics show that. That's not me saying that. Just look at the numbers. Yeah. Fortunately, we have many doctors who are, because again, what they are learning in school, it's not about nutrition. And so they are guiding us based on what they are trained to do, which is to keep you alive, to minimize the pain and whatever it is that you're experiencing. That's their job. But they're not trained on nutrition. Their curriculum, very minuscule. As a matter of fact, it could be down to just hours in terms of how much of that they're exposed to. And so it's important that you are aware of that, so that you then determine that in order to achieve a level of health and to maintain a level of health, that you turn to the things that will actually do that, and not just take something that's going to be a Band-Aid. Again, if you are at a dire state, again, you need to come to a place of stability, and then you can begin to make those changes. Absolutely do what is necessary, and we have life-saving procedures and medication that will do that. However, they are not meant for us to stay on forever. You are not meant to take medication for diabetes forever. You are not meant to stay on high blood blood pressure pills forever. That's not the life we're supposed to have. Our birthright says otherwise. I mean, come on, look at the wonderful temple vehicle that the Creator has blessed us with. That has blessed us also with the capacity to do what it needs to do once we cooperate.
Right.
And so it's about just providing people with the knowledge and the wherewithal in terms of motivation and support to help them to get to that point where they feel empowered to begin and to continue. And that's really what my purpose is at this point in my life, to really help people to get going. And the class is just one of the many vehicles that I'm doing that.
Yeah, we're talking with Rhonda Wright with Seedlings Place. We're going to get details about the master class in just a bit. Let's take this call, though, and you can call in as well. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us. Facebook us. Text us, 422-4796. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Mrs. Strawn, to your guest, and DeAngelo.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, great information coming in from the lady. And so, Dwight, I was down these rabbit holes for years, right? But the thing is, I agree with everything she said. You never stop learning. That's what's frightening for me. But when she's talking about the big pharmaceutical company, they're being aided by governments and, of course, capitalism to allow them to put insecticides, fungicides, herbicides, thank God you're on our sides, okay? Now, the thing is about the vegan diet, capitalism has taken a foothold in that too. So even when I buy vegan products, I still look at the ingredients they're putting in them. Some of them are basically the same. So we must also be aware of that. And another thing, I don't know if your guest is familiar with, something that recently I saw Dr. John Campbell and Dr. Bain that come on the medical lecture was talking about, and I was surprised by this because I didn't know this. He was just thinking that glucose is mostly the problem that causes the hyperinsulinemia and the diabetes and all that. But what happens is the new study shows actually that the preservatives in the food, the colorings, the dyes, and all the additives, they are also responsible for making the pancreas secrete more insulin, resulting in hyperinsulinemia. And this is something that I was taken aback by. And so they know these things, but we still allow these things. But as it relates to food, basically, I was just like, do you really know that a plant-based diet can actually save the kidneys and stop CKD, chronic kidney disease, in its track? Did you know that? I'll line up and listen.
Thank you so much for your comments. And you are absolutely correct. Capitalism, again, and I said earlier that we don't live in a world that facilitates or makes convenient or even encourages healthy living. And so that's why I said it may not be our fault, but it's our fight to take back control. We cannot rely on external forces or factors, no matter who or what it is, to make the change for us. It's about arming yourself with the information so you can then take the steps that you have within your control. So I 100% agree with you. He also mentioned in regards to the glucose levels, he's correct. Definitely, of course, it's always been tied to you're consuming too much sugar, and glucose levels in the blood is what we're tracking to indicate that it's elevated. But as he said, it's really tied to also saturated fats, which are clogging up our tissue and our muscles, which is prohibiting the insulin from opening the cells, because it serves as it's a hormone that serves like a key that opens the hormones that allows the glucose to be absorbed to then be used to turn to be converted to energy. But the reality is, because our cells are so clogged up, our muscles, our tissues are so clogged up, the insulin is not able to do its job.
Wow.
Thus, the glucose is staying in the bloodstream and wreaking metabolic havoc on us. So he's absolutely correct about that. And so it's, again, the science is showing, and again, back to Dr. Libron, who's one of my favorites because he's a functional doctor who comes from a place of lifestyle. So I'm very grateful that he's one of our own. But recognizing that the lifestyle, because he asked the question on if a plant-based lifestyle, you can get all the nutrients that you need. Again, and that's one of the things I'll be talking about this evening. Research absolutely shows that you are able to live a healthy, balanced life by consuming 100% plants. Again, I'm not trying to convert anybody to do that, but it is a concern that many people have, and I understand why. I had the same ones because of all of the things that I was hearing. Oh my God, you won't have any protein, you won't get this and that. Yeah. But again, once you do the research or you hear and listen to those who are credible to be able to guide you, you recognize that that it's not quite what is being purported. And so, yes, there are one or two vitamins that you may have in lesser quantity. B12, for example, which, let me clarify this, is something that it's pegged to vegans that you have to supplement if you're a vegan for B12. But the reality is, whether you're a vegan or a meat eater, you can be deficient in B12 because B12 comes from, it's a bacteria, it comes from the dirt. And because of the type of the way that we are now cleaning our foods, it's sterilized now. You don't have as much bacteria on the food that we used to. We're not getting it from the animals are eating it from the dirt, and they're consuming it. So we would consume it by the animals that we ate or the foods that we ate. But because we now have such stringent cleaning, the way that we deal with the food, that bacteria is not as prevalent as it used to be. So across the board, that can be a deficiency for meat eaters or plant-based eaters. So, but even less for plant-based eaters because we're not even consuming the animal. That may still be, where we may still find it in their system. Wow. So, that's one of the things. Vitamin D is another, but we live in the Bahamas where we have the sun, good for us. And so exposure to your skin helps you to synthesize it. So there are one or two that you may need to, again, be tested to verify if you need to supplement. However, just about all of the other macronutrients, micronutrients that you need, micronutrients being the minerals and vitamins, and of course the macronutrients are your carbohydrates, proteins, fats, you can get sufficiently from a plant-based meal. Now, the key is when you hear about these things about people who are dying because they're a vegan, or, what you have to look at is, did they take the time to plan their meal so that you are ensuring that it is balanced? That is key. It's definitely possible, but if you are, living the same life as you always do, where you're not paying attention to it, then it's easy to fall short. Fiber is one of we always talk about protein. Are we going to not have enough protein, right? Mm-hmm. But we need to be talking about fiber, which is another area where we are deficient. And where do we get fiber? The only place is from plants, not from animal foods. And so when we're looking at what do we need, where do we get it from, how can we be nourished so that we can flourish, as my class says, at the end of the day, it's no question that what the science is showing, which is low fat, ideally, a whole food, plant-based foods can absolutely provide what the body needs. And again, if you look at the research for the blue zones, which is, there's research been done about that, which are those zones where you have the people who have the most centenarians, is that the proper way to say it, who are living, having thriving lives. They're not vegans, but they have several characteristics or lifestyle traits that are similar. One is majority plant-based foods, and they have strong community relationships. Oh boy. So again, just look at, the science is very clear, and scientists don't agree on a whole lot, but the majority of them now are definitely agreeing that there are major benefits to protecting and promoting health when you are looking at a predominantly whole food, plant-based foods. And yes, vegan foods, just because you're vegan does not mean you're healthy. He's right about that.
Very true.
Processed is processed.
That's right. Let's take this final call really quickly. Good morning, caller. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Golden Day is Strachan voice along with you on your panel, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Miss, I think you said some nice things, but you had not put them in perspective. You see, when you're looking for fiber, you got to know what to use, fruits and the kind of fruits. And then the other thing is with vegetables, right? When you want to be a vegan, you got to know what type of vegetable going to give you the type of vitamin your body needs. And that's the problem we have. A lot of people do not know what to eat. And you got to teach them. You just don't tell them what does certain things to you for your body. You got to tell them what to check on what their body needs.
Absolutely.
That's why they need to tune into the master class, right?
Exactly. And I also said, if you're not sure what your levels are, you should be, have yourself tested so that you're clear on what you're deficient in, if indeed you are. But you are absolutely correct. And that's what the master class is for.
All right, so I know you're going to talk about this in the masterclass, but I'm just so curious. Can you give us at least a couple of the steps, the 7 steps to end unhealthy eating?
Well, as with everything, the very first thing is we got to start with the right mindset. So an abundance mindset as opposed to a scarcity mindset. We begin with this thought process of, oh my God, but I have to give up. I'm not going to be able to do this. So we already come from a deficit, a mental state of deficit. And so we want to adjust that so that we recognize the abundance of what we will add to our life, not just in nourishment, but just obviously in how we feel and the end goal of where we're headed. So that's one of them. And then, of course, the next thing is to the point that the caller just made, to begin to add those nourishing foods as opposed to even thinking about taking them away. And then what are those nourishing foods? People always ask me, well, what is it that you eat? And yes, I eat more than just lettuce. I have a vast food lifestyle, and it's immensely creative and delicious. And I mean, there's no shortage of what the options are, and so it's just knowing what they are. And so I agree with him from that perspective. So that is another thing to make people aware of what are those foods that I can be adding to my plate that can create. What does a balanced plate look like, right? And what are those micronutrients, and what foods do I need to eat to get them? And so those are just a few of the things that we'll be talking about. Emotional eating is another thing that's big for many people. So understanding what those triggers are, and then figuring out what you can do to have a different response as opposed to the usual, which is to eat to fill that void emotionally of whatever it is that you're experiencing. So those are a few of the things that we'll be talking about, along with a lot more.
All right, so I think the last time you were here, maybe a year and a half ago, I was still vegetarian.
I remember
pescatarian.
that, yes.
Remember? I've fallen off the wagon. Oh, boy. But
and it's okay. I want to say that quickly because there are many thousands, if not more, of people who, again, they've tried, it's been difficult, they've been on this start-stop cycle, and it's okay. I didn't transition overnight. Okay. My transition was over a period of at least a year. So it takes a while, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 starts or stops to get going, and I want people to know that it's okay. Wow. Don't give up. Don't give up.
So you mentioned places that... Anyway, the list of places that are offering vegetarian and vegan foods, a lot of places have closed down. What's going on?
A few. I think business in the Bahamas is hard in general. Yeah. And people tend to think that you have to be vegan to eat vegan, which of course we know is not correct because. And tonight, one of the things that I want to let people know is I'm not even talking specifically about being vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian. Let's not even worry about the labels. Let's just talk about eating to live. Let's talk about eating to live as opposed to living to just eat. And so when we focus on that, come from that perspective and understanding what is it that I need so that I can have the best life that I deserve to have, it points you in very clear directions. They say that success leaves clues, and the clues have been laid out for us. And so it's a matter of us just making the connection to be able to make that difference. But even though there are businesses that have closed, there are still quite a number of places that are serving 100% plant-based foods. Beautifully, many restaurants, many restaurants now you can find plant-based options or vegetarian options. Again, that's another thing that I'm talking about. How do you eat out socially successfully? Because you got to put some time and research into it to figure out where do I go, as again a level of planning to ensure that you're going somewhere where you will have options. But there are things that you can do to close that gap to increase your success rate, to make those changes that you desire to make.
All right. So tell us about the masterclass. What people need to know to be a part of this.
So the class is virtual. It's a virtual class, so anybody can join, whether if you're here in the Bahamas or not. You can go to my Facebook or Instagram page, and you can go to the link in the bio or any of the most recent posts.
Under your name or
under
Seedlings Place?
Seedlings Place, SEEDLINGS Place, Seedlings Place. And so the link will be there that will take you to the landing page where you can register to join. You do need to register, but again, there's no cost to do so. You can also give me a call, 376-1213. That's 376-1213. And I'm happy to just send you the link directly. And that's really it. And I forgot to say that when you register, and hopefully show up live. And it is tonight. I don't think I said that. It's actually tonight, folks. Tonight at 7. It'll be via Zoom. So once you register, you'll have the link sent to you. You'll also get reminders, because I know a lot of people will register for things and they forget. So you're going to get reminder emails right up until 15 minutes so that you don't forget to set your alarm, to get your pen and paper. Come with pen and paper. Come with questions, because I'll be happy to entertain questions at the end. So they can register. But when you show up live and you stay until the end, I'm also giving a free bonus. And that bonus is a Fuel Up Heal Yourself habit tracker. Again, we oftentimes trying to figure out, well, how do I get myself going? Or I'm having these pains, indigestion, not sure why. I need to increase my discipline, my level of accountability. And sometimes tracking what you're doing can make a world of difference. So I'm going to be sending folks who turn up as a digital document, but sending them a habit tracker that they can use to track how much fruits they eat, track how much vegetables they eat, track how much water they're drinking, to track how much they're moving, track how much play.
Scary for a lot of people.
It may be, but you know what? It serves as information.
Yeah.
Everything is information. So it serves as information to guide you on what you need to do. Maybe you will see, wow, I really thought I was doing good, not doing as good as I was. Oh, hey, I'm doing better than I thought. So it could go either way. But either way, it's information to help to guide you so that you can make the changes that you want, or know what area you need to make changes or focus a little more on. So that's a free bonus that I'm giving to anybody who registers. They'll get that as well. And then there'll be some other opportunities as I share how else you can work with me, how else I can support you on your journey.
Wow. 7 o'clock, how long do you think it's going to be?
So it's a master class. So there's a lot that I want to share. So the class will probably be about 90 minutes in terms of the instructional aspect of it. And it's not just giving information. We're inundated with information. So obviously I'm going to be giving information, but I'm going to be sharing strategies, actual strategies that you can leave that call and say, okay, well, let me go and try this. Yeah. Let me see if this works. Again, small things that you can do to begin to make the shift towards the journey of 1,000 steps begins with one. So what is the one thing that I can do that you may decide that resonates with you that I will share that you can walk away with to begin doing right away. Yeah. So the instructional part will be about an hour and a half, and then I'll field questions for however many that people have. So it shouldn't be more than 2 hours, but an hour and a half in terms of the instruction.
Excellent. From nourishment to
flourishment. And I hope inspiration, not just instruction, but inspiration.
Excellent stuff.
As well, yes.
Rhonda Wright, the free virtual masterclass tonight, 7 o'clock.
Yes.
And on Seedlings Place, you can get all the information.
Yes, please go to my Facebook page or Instagram page. You can get the link, or just call me or WhatsApp me. I'm on. I see a few folks already calling me. I'm still on air. So 376-1213, 376-1213. I'm happy to send it to you directly.
Excellent. Thank you for being here this morning, sharing some good information.
Yes, and from nourishment to flourishment. Let's get it going.
I love that.
Thank you again. All right, we're going to take a break and be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
All right, my beautiful islands. I tell you, if the good Lord never goes on holiday, tell me why he made the Bahamas. If the good Lord never used to come this way, tell me why he made these islands. All the sun, all the peace, all the skies, all the breeze, all the creeks, all the hills, all the sand, all the trees. So tell me why. Tell me why he made these islands.
Girl, you see how Cora eye look funny, all black up yesterday?
But she say she bumped into a wall when she's running after the churn dam.
Yeah, but last Saturday you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
What you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman, does mind her business, take care of them churn, and go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, you know. Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence, and we don't want to line up in the cemetery military.
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business. Then Jack come after me and I land up next to Cora.
No, man, we could call a text Crime Stopper. And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll-free at 300-TIPS or 300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app and we could text them and the messages get on mix up before it leave your phone so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Age ain't nothing but a number, they say. Whether you're a baby boomer or a Gen X, Y, or Z, Easy Car Sales invites you to be part of the new Generation E. We drive electric for the savings, for the planet, and most importantly, for the smooth, powerful ride. You really can have it all. We love our EV and we are Generation E. Join us. Everyone is welcome. Visit IamGenerationE.com to find out more. Brought to you by Easy Car Sales.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Challenger Energy Group, formerly Bahamas Petroleum Company, says that in its annual report that it is experiencing frustratingly low process in renewing its 4 exploratory licenses into the 3rd exploration period, though the company suggests it has experienced long delays from the Bahamas government before. It said in this annual report that notwithstanding that the group's application to renew the southern licenses into a 3rd exploration period has now been pending for a considerable length of time, management considers this to be within the bounds of normal expectation in the Bahamas, given that the renewal of the southern licenses from the 1st exploration period into the 2nd exploration period took almost 5 years, and that a new government was elected in the Bahamas in September 2021, and that the COVID pandemic lockdowns caused significant administrative delays across all the world. Challenger says that while it is still seeking the renewal of its exploratory licenses, it is also looking at other ways to monetize those licenses, especially given that Prime Minister Philip Davis has said on several occasions that if there is found to be commercial quantities of oil in the ground in the Bahamas, it'll be left in the ground. The managing director of POMKey claimed the Maritime Revenue Enhancement Task Force wanted him to provide a list of contracts for contractors and subcontractors at the site after they came in with guns drawn, leaving onlookers mortified and intimidated. Jack Hannaby Cummins telling Guardian Business that what he experienced at the hand of the task force is something that you would experience in war-torn countries. He claimed the visits from the task force left him and guests mortified. Hannaby Cummins saying that they wanted to see again the contractors list so they could check into the subcontractors. He said, quote, even though that's not really our jurisdiction because we can't police subcontractors. They've been 3 times now. The first time they arrived, there were some via boat and some via the front entrance. You can read more about what he's saying in today's Guardian business section. And CFA Society President Kriston Moore says the government appears to be heading in the right direction with its 2024-2025 budget, but he questioned if it can meet certain targets it set. Moore said the CFI Society had a meeting with the International American Development Bank offices in their country economist on the recently passed 2024-2025 budget. You can read about that again in today's Guardian business section. And the Bahamas could carry out its first debt for nature swap by the fall of this year. That's going to Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis. He says they've done a lot of marine protected areas, so the focus of the debt swap is not so much on additional areas, but on improving the management of some of the areas that we have. Overseas, Boeing announcing plans to acquire key supplier Spirit Aerosystems for $4.7 billion, a move that it says will improve plane quality and safety amid increasing scrutiny by Congress, airlines, and the Department of Justice in the U.S. Boeing previously owned Spirit, and the purchase would reverse a long-time Boeing strategy of outsourcing key work on its passenger planes. That approach has been criticized as problems at Spirit disrupted production and delivery of popular Boeing jetliners, including 737s and 787s. Concerns about safety came to a head after the January 5th blowout of a panel on an Alaska Airlines 737 MAX 9 at 16,000 feet over Oregon. The FAA soon after announced increased oversight of Boeing and Spirit Aerosystems, which supplied the fuselage for the plane. And European Union regulators accusing social media company Meta Platforms today of breaching the bloc's new digital competition rulebook by forcing Facebook and Instagram users to choose between seeing ads or paying to avoid them. Meta began giving European users the option in November of paying for ad-free versions of Facebook and Instagram as a way to comply with the continent's strict data privacy rules. Users can pay €10 or about $10.75 a month to avoid being targeted by ads based on their personal data. The U.S. tech giant rolled out the option after the European Union's top court ruled that Meta must first get consent before showing ads to users, in a decision that threatened its business model of tailoring ads based on individual users' online interests and digital activity. The European Commission, the EU's executive arm, said preliminary findings of its investigation show that Meta's pay or consent advertising model was in breach of the 27-nation bloc's Digital Markets Act. And dimly lit and stuffy classrooms stir with life every morning as children file in. Rays of sunshine stream through wooden windows, the only source of light for thousands across Nigeria. It's a reality for many school children where many buildings don't have access to national electricity. About half of Nigeria's more than 200 million people are hooked up to a national electricity grid that can't provide sufficient daily electricity to most of those connected. Many poor rural communities are off the grid entirely. In a country with abundant sunshine, many are looking to solar energy to help fill the gaps, but getting risk-averse investors to finance major solar projects that would give Nigeria enough reliable energy is an uphill battle. It means that millions in the country are finding ways to live with little to no electricity. Studies have shown that Nigeria could generate much more electricity than it needs from solar energy thanks to its powerful sunshine. But 14 grid-scale solar projects in the northern and central parts of the country could generate 1,125 megawatts of electricity, have stalled since contracts were signed in 2016. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Friday. Your market movers Commonwealth Bank moving 9,000 shares, closing up 21 cents to 5.21. Consolidated Water up 16 cents to 5.22. Emira Incorporated up 3 cents to 8.15. The Basic All Share Index closing at 2,915.15, up 0.40. Recapping the week, the local market ended the week with 30,415 shares crossing the exchange with 23 trades to accumulate a value of $183,705. The Basic All Share Index gained 5.57 points, or 0.19%, to end the week at 2,943.54. Year to date, the index is up 91.90 points, or 3.22%. The week's volume and value leader, Commonwealth Bank, moving 13,000 shares with 6 trades, accumulating a value of $67,380. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune in tonight to CFAL Talks right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 at 6:30 p.m. And Deandra Cartwright, thank you so much for being here with us on this Monday.
Thank you for having me, Dwight Strachan.
I'll see you next week.
Yes, indeedy.
And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.